scene.
There will be a second
one. Believe you me.
There will be.
No, well, there's Boss Baby, there's Big Boss Baby, and then there's the prequel, The Boss Baby.
No, wait a minute. Have you actually seen the Boss Baby film?
Oh, no.
Because Big Boss Baby is an actual character in the Boss Baby cinematic universe already. In fact, that whole hierarchy plays an important role in the overall plot of the film.
When do we get to punish Venom Baby?
Probably the second movie.
Okay.
What? Hi, welcome to our Boss Baby fan cast.
Hey.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Fans. Yeah.
What's...
Yeah.
Lobos, what's your favorite baby?
Boss Baby.
Yeah. That's the right answer. That's the only answer. Or else
I don't know, the Rugrats are pretty good.
they get the shot. You know,
Man, those are some irresponsible parents.
They are.
Yeah. It was from an era where parents didn't pay attention to their kids and the kids would go on wacky adventures.
Modern day.
Yeah.
No, parents nowadays don't have children. They just buy their own toys because it turns out you can do that.
Oh, yeah. And live in their parents' basement. Forever.
Yes.
That would be a lot cheaper.
Seriously. Holy
Herbie,
shit.
what's your favorite basement?
Favorite basement? No, I pass.
Man, this is the coldest opening. Hi, welcome to
Tiger Crust is gone 1 weekend and our energy level's gone.
I just miss him so much.
Oh, I'm so sad he's not here.
Jeff is in. Oh God, maybe he's watching. Is he watching? And
Oh
he's
no! Casey might be watching and see what we're doing wrong.
Now, we mentioned Boss Baby.
Oh no!
That will be the least surprising thing that happens from his perspective.
Oh, I leave and they all start talking about Boss Baby. Well, I guess I'm staying in Oregon forever.
No!
Jeff, we miss you. Please come back someday. Birgit says, excuse me, I was promised more Boss Baby. Polo's barking. And you know what that means? It's time for the Boss Baby Minute. Where we write our own Boss Baby story, one word at a time.
No, not this.
I'll go first, and we'll go around the table. Once.
A.
Boss.
No!
I thought for sure. I was 100% sure you were going to say pawn. That you were going to use pawn as your word.
I came close.
Once a boss.
No!
Once a boss, no.
Will.
No.
Once a boss.
No
will. 12.
The end.
This is like which plays Pokemon.
This is really bad content. This is the
play D&D instead.
This is like the worst thing we've ever done.
I don't know about that. There have been some pretty bad opening monologues.
Oh
Anarchy
boy.
arrives.
This is still nothing compared to the beans.
No.
Oh, those beans, they were so
Canned
bad.
dog food.
Yeah.
Oh my god. MVP.
The joke is that I've really just been killing time to see if that camera dies like it does at the beginning of each week. And it hasn't.
Hey!
So it turns out we just have to start every week with a bunch of garbage about Boss Baby and the camera works.
I can't
I
play
look
this
forward
game
to that
anymore.
forever.
The camera is petrified permanently. from
Well,
what
with
I
that
just saw.
bookkeeping out of the way, we can move on to Dungeons and Dragons. What happened last week, everybody?
We crashed a boat into the ocean.
You crashed a boat into the ocean.
Yeah. I mean,
Would you care to elaborate?
It was supposed to be a flying boat, but it stopped flying due to sabotage by various persons.
So we defeated the Necro Saboteur, but then we escaped with the help of the first Saboteur.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a true statement.
We
We're
defeated
pirates
both
now.
saboteurs at different times, but with their saboteur powers combined, we were distracted
Plus the
enough.
poor condition of the ship starting out, since it apparently had been rushed out of dock with a few...
It was actually
missing
very
parts.
irresponsible by the house responsible for this ship that they not insufficient lifeboats.
Sprinkler
Just
system not functioning in the engine room.
Right.
Yep.
it was just not up to code at all.
They
Well-
cut a bunch of corners.
Yeah.
Terrible.
They did, however, compensate by putting one of their most experienced captains at the helm.
That's
By which
We never
mean
met
the
him.
exact opposite of that.
Yeah, I wonder who the
we
captain
never
was supposed to
never saw him.
captain has been eaten by a shark.
Also notably, our necromantic saboteur did not survive.
Well, we don't know for sure.
Well, at least their physical body was sucked into the engine.
Can we flash back to make sure we got the necklace out of the vault? I don't know if anyone mentioned it in all the chaos.
We lied about putting it in the vault.
Oh, we did?
We held on to it.
Okay, we held on to it.
Yes.
Yeah, we intentionally lied about it going into the vault so that we could catch somebody trying to break in without putting it at risk.
Yes, there was a fair bit of lying going on.
It's so weird that anyone in this party would tell a single lie.
But one person that did stay true to his word was the Baron,
Yes.
who, when his pirate fleet arrived, managed to make good on his promise to drop everyone off. Back at Sharn, a number of people simply went their separate ways. Jorvar basically just clambered off of the side and stomped off. Although the Baron seemed a little reluctant to maybe let him go. He was maybe giving it a little consideration as to what House Lyrandar might be willing to pay. But by the time he's finished considering it, Jorvar has already disappeared into the crowd, as has Ix. Ix has, in characteristic Ix fashion, stood up and left without saying anything to anyone at any point in time.
Put a bell on her so she can't sneak off so easy.
Oh, we should do that in real life.
Oh my god.
Where's Petra in all this?
Petra is still here on the boat.
Oh, yeah.
Just sort of,
As a
It's
captive,
probably a bad time on the boat to sort of ask about what this means for our payment, because we didn't necessarily save the ship, but we did bring...
I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure we saved the ship.
we saved their lives.
Yeah, I'd like to know what payment looks like.
I don't know that you asked that right away.
Yeah.
I'm shameless enough to.
Yeah.
okay, so are you asking Petra about this?
Yeah, just sort of like, just sort of, where are we on the pay scale?
Petra looks thoughtful. This is an awkward situation all around. I must admit that things did not quite go as I was hoping that they would, but I think that a great deal of what has happened was far above and beyond anything that we expected to have happen. And while the ship itself maybe did not meet with the best fate, I cannot deny that the threat of our host, the Baron, was indeed neutralized by the party, which was theoretically what you were hired to do.
It was
So,
exactly what we were hired to do.
The fact that you did not necessarily 100% negate the second saboteur is not really your fault. So were I in your position, I would argue that you have conducted yourselves precisely as the contract would have.
And yeah, my thoughts exactly.
Well, not my thoughts.
As far as I'm concerned, we did even better than the contract specified. Because if it hadn't been for us, that second saboteur would have crashed everybody into the ocean and they would have died.
Yes, and I think that's marvelously heroic, and I'm terrifically pleased that you did such a thing, and I'm really ever so grateful. But I didn't hire you to do that.
That's fair, just saying. We did go above and beyond.
Oh, 100%. Listen, I understand that this has gone sideways for a number of people. The nations of Thrain and Tarnath included.
Right.
They're gonna have
Yeah,
a
no,
fight.
we have an international incident that, by the way, Lynn is also going to sort of try and... Not everyone knows what happened. Like, the party knows what happened, but I'm pretty sure the workers on the ship and most of the major players did not go into the room and see how the Thrain delegation died.
Sure, yeah, good point.
Lynn is going to want to tweak that a little bit to say that there were accidents on board and they've died. Like when the ship shuttered and they fell on their own weapons. What else could have happened if anyone investigates?
They both have to be sharpening their weapons at the same time.
Well, I mean, they heard a commotion.
All
and
right, so just to be clear, the story is that the mechanical difficulties or imperfections in the ship itself
Such as the ones that caused it to crash into the ocean.
were the ones that were responsible for the chaos.
We do need to figure out what we want to say about
Think a
that
little bit
second
more on that.
saboteur.
Let's finish this.
Yeah,
this little
sorry.
bit.
We can
Um, Petra, as Petra was saying, yes, you absolutely did go above and beyond. I view this as the beginning to a very profitable relationship for both of us, if that's agreeable to you. I mean, I will make good on my promise to deliver payment, as I have with other groups in my employ, and I hope that perhaps you'll consider some degree of sponsorship for me in the future.
Sounds amicable.
That's reasonable.
Terrific.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go home, and I'll bring your payments to the cafe tomorrow, if that's all right.
Sounds
Sounds
reasonable.
Baron, thank you for bringing me home. I
Okay,
don't know who you are.
Oh, I
Good.
I have maybe an. Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
On who to
See
blame?
Petra.
Well,
Like, I was going to make up a
Yeah,
neutral third
well,
party.
I was-
Somebody snuck aboard the ship.
Please.
I was wondering if maybe we need to get the delegation on board with this, but it seems like the least likely way to cause a war might be if we paint them in a heroic light, almost.
I don't think the Silver Flame's ever going to buy the Carnathi behaving in a heroic light.
No, but like them, like essentially both sides, like struggling to repel some sort of sabotage, and of course, you know, the paladins would be the self-sacrificing ones, quote
We...
unquote.
Here's a question. Has anyone in your group taken any particular steps as far as the bodies are concerned?
See, I remember suggesting that we toss them overboard before they are found by other people. I thought we decided that
Flashback.
was
Yeah, remember this is a very malleable situation. You guys
Because,
can do
like
whatever it is that you think that the group
I remember
sensibly would have
I
done.
remember at least floating that idea when we were on the.
No pun intended.
Well,
Yeah.
so
Oh.
we could do that. We could bring the bodies back as well and say that.
Well, if we
But
bring them
I'm not
back,
inclined
I ask that particularly because Thrain's main question is going to be, where are our dudes
yes,
and that one lady? Because
right.
there were three of them.
Also resurrect them as skeletons by help.
Oh, no, that's...
I feel like
They would bridge the gap between.
I feel like a
three and-
cursory investigation would reveal that it was a necromancer that killed them.
And that one of them had died well before the other two.
Well, I think it was more that he was like some kind of magic was used that caused him to, because he was like looking really sick. you
Yeah.
know?
I think that was because he was reanimated.
I think that we're gonna have to claim that there was some kind of saboteur. I don't
Yeah.
think we can say it was all
It's
due to faulty-
easiest to say it was a third party. However,
I don't know how much you care for your family, but I have a feeling that if it gets out that it failed due to faulty mechanics, I mean, it's bad for the name.
That's true.
is that a bonus or a problem?
I don't care. Whatever.
Considering, I don't know if y'all caught it, but I think Petra is a little more than what Petra let on. I thought I heard that Petra actually made that ship or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know
exactly
exactly
Chief
what the
mechanic?
connection is.
Yeah,
But
or something like that. Like some...
anyway, if we plan to work with Petra in the future, it's probably not a good idea to
bring
make
it
his work look bad.
So saboteur, it has the virtue of even being true.
Right,
for
and
the
that
most
also
part.
gives an easy excuse for how the bodies got dealt with.
I mean,
How does the Carnathi delegation feel about what actually happened and the risk of war that it causes if it gets out that there was a third party who was of the Carnathi but not one of the not acting under the proper orders? It seemed somebody interfered, but
The ambassador is of the opinion, and rightfully so, I think, that regardless of this individual's station within the Carnathi organization, the fact is that all of the Thrain people died, and this one guy from the Carnathi delegation is still alive. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying kill me.
Okay.
That's not going to make
Art's
things
already
better.
like,
Lynn was like,
What if we?
But Thrain is disposed to look for any excuse to pin the blame on Karnath to begin with. If you're to avert that in any way, you must figure out some means of making it irrefutably someone else.
So we should say, and though it'll be someone else's fault, but we should say that the Saboteur took control of the skeletons. Had nothing to do with Karnath.
I don't want to do that.
You're missing
But
something
but
here.
the people, some people thought
You're
saw
missing
that.
something though. He's saying he can't walk off this ship, and he doesn't need to. If we're losing 3 bodies,
Anyway, why don't we lose one more?
you're good with the disguise kit, right?
I mean,
You mind
but-
wearing a bit of makeup and a different uniform for a few days?
I don't understand.
I mean, he's
Well-
still a diplomat. Like, this would be him giving up his life.
They'll figure something out.
It's better than war, ain't it?
No. You missed my point. I'm saying that even if I was dead, the Thrains would still be, well, look, the Karnathi killed all of us. And regardless of whether or not they got killed too, they're to blame.
Even
Because
if
there
everyone's
was-
dead and everyone's saying, hey, it was this third party.
Lightning could strike, and Thrain would blame the Karnathi.
It depends on the nature of the proof of this third party.
Right, so we need to try and leave them out of it as much as possible.
What about the Baron?
Uh,
Pirates thrive on
they dropped us off.
bad press.
It's true.
They dropped us
Yeah.
off.
I don't know where you're having this conversation.
Okay.
We've been on the deck of the Baron's ship
Yeah.
up until now, so it's like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, would the Baron want to take credit for the death of the Thrain delegation?
What kind
I
of
don't think
pirate
that-
are you? Do you just sail anywhere? And
Doesn't
are
seem
you
like
in-
he'd get much out of it.
Yeah.
The free spirit.
Except
To
a lot of trouble.
answer your questions, no, a good one. Yes, I do.
It seems like the Baron is like almost part adventurer, part pirate, right? Because it was mentioned about Baron's exploits and other stuff. that
Aren't
Baron's
they all?
doing.
Yes,
I like-
I'm gallivanter. I enjoy excursion, find things.
But I remember
Shiny coins.
talking about what is it, expeditions and other things the Baron's been known to do. Is that all just pirating stuff? Like what? So what does the group know about the Baron, just in general?
The Baron is one of the pirate lords of the Lazar Principalities.
Completely pirate then. Not,
No,
oh.
he is a pirate, but he is also a governor and also a noble and also basically like a merchant lord in his little area.
You can't really be expecting something like this. No reason for
But more to the point, he's in charge of a portion of, like, a number of islands are like
Right.
fiefdoms of his, and he has no interest in soliciting one of the 5 nations' ire by taking credit for assassinating one of their groups. Particularly because he didn't do that.
But would he be a credible witness as to an alternate theory of to what happened to these delegates?
For the right price.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right, Christ. Trying to prevent a war here.
Well, simplest solution is we dump the bodies, say they died trying to fight the Saboteur off. We don't say how the Saboteur did everything. Just say that they.
Everyone fell in the engine.
They wrecked the
Sounds
engine.
like it's a low bid and it won't work from what the delegate's saying. I mean, we can try it, but it's as likely as anything.
That's to get him to speak out. We could just say everyone else be quiet, and that's the story we spread. Tell the house, your house, to spread that as the official story of what happened.
But I mean, what if I'm understanding you right? And she's addressing the delegate here. That's just not going to be enough. They would want something more definite than that, right?
Without a doubt.
Oh,
Besides which, I mean, you know, there's a certain degree of scrying and divination that's going to be involved. Whatever
Oh.
story that you're going to tell needs to have the ring of truth such that whatever investigation takes place reinforces that.
Unfortunately,
I don't think we'll be able to
Hold
overcome
on.
that.
I got a good story.
Alright.
This one's good. So
Once.
most of the ship saw the elementals break loose.
This is
Right.
This is close to where I was thinking.
What if the elementals defeated them or cast them into the ocean? They tried to save the people from the elementals attacking.
Oh, well,
the
here-
elementals
here-
broke loose as part of the saboteurs.
Here's
That's
what I.
way off from what happened, though.
Well, here's.
But it's
Well,
enough
how
to
about
convince
this?
people.
Okay, nobody was with us below deck. when the Saboteur banished the Storm Elemental. For all they know, the Storm Elemental was released and resealed. No one was actually around to see that. And the Storm Elemental, I'm guessing, may be like some mix of like electricity and wind or something like that.
That's exactly right.
Something that could easily blow people off deck, especially perhaps if they were carrying metal weapons and were easily subdued by such a thing. We would just need to, create the circumstances to make that a believable event.
Well, their bodies have stab wounds in them, don't they?
No,
They do.
those don't have to be found.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, do we flash back to where we cast the bodies overboard, smash a few windows in the engine? Is the engine room completely sealed from the...
Yeah, there's no external.
Yeah.
The boat just
But the
completely
ring,
sunk in
I
at
mean,
this point?
the ring is mostly outdoors.
Hey,
so-
wait a minute. I got an idea. Your brother, he's pretty high up in your family, yeah?
Sure.
I doubt your family wants it known that a war started because of a problem on your ship. I bet he'd be willing to back whatever story we got. That's not worth nothing. Heck, your family probably ought to back it in full, because anything's better than being the ship the war started on. What?
I don't know. That can also take attention away from the fact that the ship failed if everyone focuses on a different thing.
Problem is we need credibility. We either need evidence, which we don't have, or we need somebody that's got
It's
credibility.
still a good story. The Saboteur
Yeah.
loosed the engine elemental went wild.
But if
People
one's-
did see the elementals going
But if
wild.
one scrying spell reveals that little
That's if
fella
they
running-
do.
Yeah,
That's why the story has to be convincing enough, right?
convincing enough that they don't bother. I don't
Oh
know about
goodness,
that.
I came up with the worst idea, but we'd have to flash back pretty far.
Okay.
What is that?
The beginning of the campaign,
We take the bodies and we throw them into the engine.
That was the other thing that so side note, I joked about that, and you're a monster for taking it seriously. Everyone goes on the
Well, in order
engine.
to-
I would
Party.
100% allow it.
It's powered by blood!
no, the idea,
They rushed in with us.
you see, this achieves two
Yeah.
things. One is the idea that they could have been like clashing with the elemental, and then unfortunately, when it was sealed back in, they were too close to the engine. And also, the Saboteur, we don't want anyone necessarily piecing him back together. So if we scatter two more bodies, it makes it really hard to tell the identity of the Saboteur to determine if they were
I would-
Excuse me, what is your alignment?
Also, I must point out, just from a practicality standpoint, that you can't cast Speak with Dead on blood. This is a really good plan.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so as a player, I love this idea, and I think we should do it. As a character, Lynn is horrified.
It's not.
Has this
Like-
plan actually been voiced by a character yet, or are we still
I
talking
think
as
so,
players?
yes. I think this is...
Well, I think I would
Like-
I would come at it like if we
Like, the ship is in the water now.
and it's still like running, and if we're trying to figure out what happened. It's like I'm like
Yeah, I've got to hear Farron kind of like put the words to this.
Yeah,
It's like-
and this is in character for Farron.
well, first of all, I read that came up with the original the theory that what if that other elemental had escaped? Could we somehow use like storm or lightning magic to
Right.
that they
Yeah.
metal they had metal
We
armor,
assume that
right?
this conversation
Right,
after...
and then it's like, and then there's like that sudden like horrible realization. It's like, oh, I also realized that clashing with the storm elemental, that the power of that storm elemental is also capable of making that evidence extremely difficult to piece back together, as I unfortunately already found with the man we defeated.
So you're saying throw the bodies into the engine, right?
Well,
To make them go.
Seems to solve all problems.
if we remember when we were doing battle with the Saboteur, the engine was highly dangerous under most circumstances.
Oh yeah, I caught that.
If the elemental had theoretically broken free and they were doing battle with it, and then someone were to reseal it without them realizing the danger of the equipment they were on. After all, we didn't realize the danger of most of the equipment we were dealing with down there at the time.
Everyone give me a perception check.
I'm sorry.
The body's already in the engine.
11.
24.
16.
Apparently I'm horrified at the things I'm saying, so I'm a little paranoid, bringing me up to a 20.
5.
Lynn, so this is happening in the aftermath of the battle before you're rescued by the Baron's fleet. And during that time, as everyone has come up to the top deck, Petra has been kind of keeping close, but also, trying to keep a low profile. Really just sort of like tucking in behind people, just keeping quiet. But Petra isn't here right now.
Where's Petra?
Oh, where'd he get to?
I don't know.
She's been holding pretty close to us.
Are there any ducts nearby?
There's one up on the wall, and its vent is hanging open.
Might be send Cove
Oh, to go.
find out where he went.
Oh, okay.
Oh no! I hope he's not throwing bodies.
Go see if you can
Oh no!
go see if you can find Petra in the vents. Go find Petra through the vents, and if you find them, come back and tell us where Petra is.
If we have tainted this poor innocent child to
Yeah,
the point that he
I
has
was
done
okay
that to
till-
her,
I was okay coming up-
Petra's an innocent child.
I was coming up with coming
He
up
was
with
a
horrible
suspect for a
murder
long
ideas,
time.
but not in front of the kids.
To be fair, it's not a murder idea. They're already
That's true.
dead.
No, it's a desecration idea. But to be
oh,
fair,
that's okay.
Desecration's cool.
Cremation, vaporization.
yeah.
After a few minutes, Cov pops right back out of the vent and clambers over to you.
Lead the way, Cove.
Heads down the stairs.
We follow.
Leads you all the way down where there's already, a fair bit of water sort of soaked in. It's actually maybe halfway up your thighs as you're walking through. And the door to the engine room hangs open.
Let's go in.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh god. Oh god. This is like a horror
It is
movie.
water, right?
And the door
There is
slowly
water,
opens
yes.
and creaks.
Maddie has
as
drawn
it
her
goes.
sword, by the way. Even though she looks pretty exhausted at this point. Since,
I bet, yeah.
She's kind of gone with you, but she's not. She's like.
Oh, I should have just tied you down to a bench somewhere.
Yeah, it would have worked for once, but yeah, she seems kind of almost drunk in her movements.
Yeah.
Not her mental faculties.
Well, actually that
necessarily.
too, because you have minuses on everything.
There is a really kind of sinister glow coming off of the reflection of the still on, but not whirling active storm engine in here. And sure enough, higher up on the machinery, sort of already clambered, are 3 floating corpses, as well as the young man that has been climbing through ducts throughout the airship.
Rad.
Hello.
Hi, Petra.
The hell are you doing?
Avoiding an international incident.
No,
You know,
You pay us to do this stuff. Get down from there.
I mean, I'm already up here.
And you're what, like 10 or 11 or
I'm
something?
12.
Oh, excuse me, 12. Get your ass down from there. Intimidate check, actually.
I'm going to give you disadvantage given your condition.
No, I have
you have
disadvantage, actually. I don't need to be forced on it. I got double 13.
Oh, that's right. You're exhausted.
Yeah, I have an 18, even exhausted. If anything, the exhaustion makes her angrier about the whole
I
thing.
just assume you just did that thing where he lets go of the bodies and they just fall into the engine.
No, I think he actually leaves them sort of
Floating?
Okay.
floating there's a very upsetting sort of trail of dried blood that's just sort of dribbled out and is floating on the water leading up to the thing. But he himself clambers down and is like, "Look,
Wait in the hallway.
Come with me. I'm going to take him upstairs to the
That's
top of the
even
ship,
better.
so I'm not there either.
What?
And you too, Maddie. You're going to rest up on
Who
the...
the hell's going to put him in the thing if I'm not?
Oh,
It was
I can do it.
Farron's wonderful idea, and
Yeah, I don't see
Art
why you
doesn't
all
have a
want it all.
soul. I don't...
He's got the bodies, right? I mean,
doesn't have a
Art
soul.
just glazes over them.
What does that even have to do with anything?
They're just bodies. They're not useful to anyone. I mean,
Lynn's gonna pretty adamantly try and get Petra up there, so she's also not there. She doesn't really want to see this.
Get going then. Hurry up.
Well, I guess we got to do it now.
Yeah.
I will come along, but yes, we must.
We are. Believe me, we understand what's going on.
Good.
Well,
Allows himself to be led away.
Oh god. Now,
does Art just hang from the thing?
We'll just
Laser
put
bodies?
paladins into wood chippers. We won't make children watch it. That's where we draw the line as the shadows.
Hold on a
Do they,
second.
do they have good armor?
You stay down. You stay down here. I'll
Wait,
I'll take care of this.
we'll do the heavy lifting this time, I think.
I thought you were being forced to go with.
Yeah.
Oh, Rachel left. So that
Wait,
I thought Lynette just forced you to walk out along with.
somebody got to give him a proper send off. I don't think any of you know how to do it.
Goodbye.
Okay, we definitely
That's
don't know
the
how to do
send-off.
it. That would be.
Yeah,
That seems appropriate.
yeah. That seems fine.
This is
Where are they at?
So they are still under the effect of some sort of a spell. They're up on that large machine adjacent to where the ring is, just sort of floating in place.
How far up?
25 feet?
That works. All right, I think I know how we can do this. You get up there and get ready to
Push.
do the thing,
Yes.
but don't do the thing until I tell you to.
I won't do the thing until you.
Alright.
Okay.
Art will also climb up. And... Art's got the strength probably to lift bodies at least.
So
Yes.
she's kind of swaying a little bit because she's not actually in that great a shape for this. Now she kind of looks.
Reese will stabilize the edge.
Are you making Maddie do this?
No,
No.
Maddie
Maddie's-
refused to go with you.
Well, actually, can she win the fight if I try and take her?
Oh, sure, yeah. I think you make it to the stairs until when you realize that Maddie is not dutifully following behind. And you come back to see that Maddie is instead sort of orchestrating some kind of like prayer service to like give them their last rites.
Do you want the actual last rites of the Church of the Silver Flame performed?
Oh, you're still here. Yeah, that'd probably be good. I mean, I was just gonna do the general.
You take Petra upstairs. I know.
I'll do that. Come on, you're out of here.
What if we stayed here?
We're not. You are not staying here.
I'm technically your boss.
Yeah, my boss, huh? What's your middle name?
I beg your pardon?
What's your middle name?
Chrysanthemum.
Be something like that.
You
What's
can't
the-
yell that in anger. That's the problem.
Okay, that's too complicated to yell like your mom yells when she yells your whole name, so I'm just gonna call you Petra. Petra, you're going up there with me. Come on.
Chrissy, for sure.
And she actually will try to forcibly drag him off this time.
10-year-old versus broken.
And a natural
12.
one. She slips
In the water.
Okay.
Petra like, ooh, and tries to like get your head up above water. Are you all right? Are you okay? Speak to me.
just tired as all.
No.
Come on. Don't make me
Dead
drag
as
you.
well.
I'm not dead.
I've
I'm
got
talking
to.
to
Oh,
you.
okay. Yes, you're fine. You're fine.
Can we go upstairs?
I don't know if you're in any condition to go anywhere.
Well, you or at least are going upstairs.
Yes, I'll do that. And he lets go of you, and you fall back down to the water.
Petra's that close to just lifting
Look.
Maddie into the ring.
Even exhausted.
What are you waiting for?
While all this is going on, Lynn's been, she pulled out her silver flame holy symbol.
Okay.
And she sort of brings herself up, and she begins performing the last rites
Okay.
for the silver flame for each of the three.
Hold on, I got it. She kind of staggers out of the water. I mean, she has a swim speed even exhausted, so she's not in any real danger of drowning. I would assume, right?
No, you're not. You just look foolish.
She's kind of getting herself, standing herself up with some difficulty.
Oh, I thought you were like swimming.
No, I was saying.
Hang on.
I was just saying. I assume someone with swim speed is not actually in danger.
No,
of
you're
drowning
fine. You're
in
fine.
an inch of water, but
Yeah. No, it's not an inch. It's like up to your thighs.
Yeah.
okay. Well, even a couple of feet is probably not a thing. So she forces herself up, says, You start saying the words. I'll take care of the other part.
The other part?
Just say the words already. I want to get back to... She looks exhausted and impatient.
Okay, do I know what the other part is?
No, I don't know what the other
Yeah.
part is.
Just say some words or something.
Ark is like waiting for the bodies.
Yeah, no, the last rites are a series of words and actions as they're going on, and it's typically performed by one priest of the Silver Flame.
Are you going to do that?
That's exactly what I'm doing, and so I'm gonna sort of nudge Maddie out of the way, and I'm performing the last rites. Do you want me to actually perform them? No, okay.
As you're doing that, Maddie seems...
Wait, yes.
Okay. As all things return to the light of the Silver Flame, so too do you. May its purity guide you as you find your...
Maddie seems to be trying to do something next to you.
way.
Keep going.
Okay, she pulls out a vial of water. She mutters a prayer over it, and then she says, "May the light cleanse you."
Oh wait, you climbed up, huh?
Yeah, I'm physically performing the last rites of the Silver Flame.
Okay.
Ark and Baron are probably trying to hold the bodies up or whatever.
Why are you holding them up? They're levitating.
They're levitating.
They're fine.
So they don't fall into the engine.
So, and I get as close as I can to them, and in the case where I need to put water on them, I would
Okay.
because you
Yeah.
when you anoint a dead body,
It's
you don't
just
actually
symbolic,
just rub water on their face. You always do.
Yeah.
Splashing.
You don't want to touch it.
And about the moment you throw the holy symbol, Maddie seems to finish whatever she was. the holy water.
Throw my
the blessed
fire.
Water, sorry. The water, sorry. She finishes the spell she was casting and she blesses the three corpses, which seems to be what she was trying to accomplish. And then she kind of falls into the water again.
Can I
Ries
figure
helps
out
you
that
up
she
again.
actually just cast a bless?
She absolutely wasn't hiding it.
Yeah.
Was that Arcana to figure out?
I think
or-
you can
I
just see that
just tell.
that's the thing that she did.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay then.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Alright.
Wait. I'm gonna go upstairs. Come on, Maddie. Let's go. And I'm gonna guide Maddie upstairs, and then I'm gonna let Ark shove corpses into a machine, making sure Petra's also gone upstairs.
No.
I'm dragging Petra if I have to.
No, I have to make sure that this is finished.
You don't need to watch this. We don't need to watch this.
I'm 12.
Yes, it's PG-13.
Throw them in.
Covering his eyes and is dragging him out as the friggin' Fargo wood chipper activates. My God!
You're a pretty hard 12.
Look,
I mean, I understand it's preventing a war. I was on board with it as soon as he said it, but you didn't have to see it.
I simply want to make sure that the deed is done properly. I believe in...
Not many wrong ways to wood chipper
glad
a
there's all this
body
water
through an
here.
engine.
Yeah. I think Ries is showered in blood probably, because you're just watching it from the...
Oh shit!
Oh
At least there's lots of water
I'll take-
around.
Yeah, that's good.
He's not wrong. Please make sure that the evidence of our actions here is not plain to the people upstairs.
We walk up and all of us are just red on one face.
It's like that one Dragon Age conversation where it's like, huh, that dog sure is smart. Yeah. It is.
There's plenty of water here.
I just leave my bloody captain's hat and say that I died too.
Throw it.
Just like,
No, leave it on top of the
Yes,
inside.
that would
just
be
wood
like a
chipper
lot
part
easier,
of it,
wouldn't
and so it's torn, and it looks like it went through the machine. Fake the...
Well, alright.
Well.
That's done.
That was a plan.
That
And then we flash back to the present.
I'm sorry.
Lynn still has a 1,000-yard
Very
stare.
good.
Let's go home.
Well, it's a good thing that we did that back then, and we don't have to figure out what it is that we're going to do now.
Yeah,
Yes,
we had to plan
indeed.
ahead, team.
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Let's
Wow.
get
To home!
And we would also, spread the story throughout,
Yes.
about
Their noble defense of the ship
yes,
in the face of
a terrible storm
a
element.
saboteur and a terrifying storm elemental.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Well done, everyone.
We do have some downtime stuff that usually happens, right?
We do!
Ba-da-dum.
Where's all my books?
Good question.
Score complete.
Yes, it's true.
I'm gonna assume I was healed at some point through all that. Otherwise, I was at 1 HP.
We probably long rested on the way here.
Oh, absolutely.
Like even Maddie's
Oh,
probably
okay, yeah.
back
If
operating
you're
within
at 1 hit point, I'll heal you.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Well, no, but I
doesn't.
would have healed you if you
Yeah,
were
there is one minor
That's
roleplay
spell
thing
slot.
that might happen related to that. If Maddie noticed you're injured, you might have noticed she started to look like she was going to heal you, then got a funny look on her face and kind of backed off a little and said, maybe let Lynn take care of it.
Okay.
Sorry, it just still... She just walks away after saying not much more than that.
Whatever that was about.
And then I don't know if you notice what happens, but I do a cure wounds on you.
Cool. I think Arc can actually do that. It depends on when we level
Well-
up if Arc would know that spell or not.
I mean,
I'm
Cure Wounds has a
assuming this
very
is just
obvious
before.
effect. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not...
Yeah.
I don't know if you can stealth
Lynn-
heal
I
someone.
think
Lynn casts magic and you feel better magically,
Right.
which is not something you've seen her do before.
I think thematically, I'm just gonna say Arc's plates are still kind of loose. Arc's gonna carry them around, but like Arc's underbody is like all healed up.
You're not leaking this much
I'm not
oil.
leaking or anything. See like bits of like the wood bindings and other things that would hold that stuff together. It's all stitched up. But Arc's still kind of like Arc doesn't look like Arc normal. It's like a bunch of plates are still missing. Oh. Sign of the Raven.
Yeah.
Sign of the Ravens.
Oh,
Skull.
right in front of me.
Sorry. Sign of the Raven's skull.
Okay, so the very next morning, Petra arrives, flanked by.
Uh-oh. Nobody can hear you.
Hi.
Oh.
The very next morning, Petra arrives at the cafe on schedule, flanked by a pair of Warforged, wearing the livery of House Cannith.
Which one's Canna?
Cannith is the crafting of the Dragon Marked houses.
Oh god, the boat.
Yep, there they are.
You went as far away from me as possible.
Yep.
Construction, production, repair, artificing, smithing, and invention.
Yes, they're in charge of coming up with things like the lightning rail, or airship technology, or magical items of certain kinds.
Oh,
Supposedly, they even ran the forges that created the first Warforged.
oh.
Exciting.
Petra delivers a respectable-looking satchel that includes the promised 8 coin. Ark, did you have something you were going to ask him?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
After we got payment, maybe as Petra's about to leave, Arc will kind of stop Petra leave. So, Petra, you worked on that ship, right?
I had some small degree of involvement in the architecture, yes.
You know, I've actually got a lot of questions about some arcane theory and other things that I've been trying to work out on my own. You seem to know a lot. Maybe sometime we could compare notes, or maybe you could maybe help a little bit with some of the things I've been working on.
Sure, I'd like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I'll come by again soon.
Yeah, how best to contact you, I guess. Just
Um,
come by whenever.
That may be
Probably.
complicated. He's sort of looking over his shoulder at the guards outside.
Oh.
I'll come to you. I can find you in these premises, yes?
Right, yeah.
Spectacular. Okay, good.
Great.
Thank you.
So, a couple other mechanical questions before we go too far into downtime stuff.
Sure.
What about heat and reputation?
I was just about to get to it.
Oh, cool.
Just taking a break for that conversation that I knew wanted to happen.
Oh, fair enough.
Also related. The thing that we can work towards learning are those feats or
Feats.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Plurifoots.
Cool.
How many feats do you have? 6.
On each
100.
toe. 6 on each toe.
It's a fractal. It's a
No wonder those
terrifying
chairs
fractal.
yours look so weird.
Okay, so as far as heat goes, I think that based on what you all did and how things went, you as a group have a pretty low heat accrual for the actual job. because the word is getting out there that the things that happened weren't your fault, but you were in the premises of it. So I'm going to say you get 2 heat overall from the activity.
That put the group total at 4?
Yep.
My old sheet's gone.
Now, at the same time, I think that maybe you're not getting a whole lot of rep out of it because a lot of it is being spun as, oh yeah, the Thrain delegation were heroes. They did such a good job. But again, you were proximate to it, so I'm going to say you get 2 rep out of that as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Just something to be kept in mind. The more your involvement becomes prominent in these sorts of things, the larger the potential gains in both of those kinds of things, which isn't necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
Can you remind me, rep just like a
Reputation.
mechanic for
It's
helping
upgrading the
us?
house?
Eventually gets us crew upgrades and stuff, which are like group passive bonuses of various kinds.
Yeah, it's basically like an XP meter for the group overall.
Okay.
We're at 8 at the moment.
The next time something interesting happens is potentially at 10.
Yes.
It's kind of the same way it's how interested authorities are in us. That's at 4 out of 10 at the moment. That also has levels. And something Maddie brings up is, well, we got 8 coin here in our stash now. We could split 6 of it out and have a little more spending money and still have 2 left.
I like that
That
idea.
seems like a
2
good
for
idea to
the
me.
2 for the group stash. What's our group stash at? What's the group stash at?
It's an 8 right now. If we take 1 out each, it'll be 2. So we'd still have some.
Do we, y'all want to upgrade some of your stuff? Maybe?
Like I like the idea of looking at the house upgrades and seeing if there's anything we can do with that coin for the group,
I suppose.
rather than cashing out for ourselves right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if we can find something, but
Y'all need weapons or armor upgrade to be like X's. I can do that too.
that could come in handy. How much you need for that?
Was it 2 coin, right?
Depends on what the upgrade is. But if you're just going to a
+1.
+1 masterwork weapon, then yeah, it's 2.
Okay.
What would it cost to get something that would boost my AC?
That's a good question.
That'll be longer than I think we want to spend on it right now.
I might
but-
have it.
Oh,
But
because that's what Lynn's gonna want is literally anything to make her AC not 13.
Yeah, mine's 12.
So to upgrade a piece of light armor requires 5 coin.
Ooh.
If you have medium armor, it costs 3, and if you have heavy, it costs 1.
And upgrading it will give 1 more AC, or
Yes, it gives you +1 AC.
what about like a magic emblem of AC, which is another thing that happens.
That I think you could find in the magical item markets of the city. If that's
Okay.
something you're looking for.
Okay, I don't think you can craft actual magic.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Like, yeah, things you'd have to attune to or anything.
Something like that, like an amulet of +1 AC or something like that. I think you'd expect to pay like 4 coin or something like that for that.
Yeah, maybe we should split it out then so that we got some to use on things like that.
I'm good for now on that, and I do like the idea of the group funds being for the group. But
As you wish.
So how much coin we all get?
Looks
everyone,
like
everyone gets 1.
everyone got 1 and we put 2 in the stash.
And so it's a stash at 10 now, you said?
It's at 8 now.
At 8 now.
Yeah.
Was there a limit for our person carrying coin?
More than 4 is dangerous.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm at 5.
You can put your coin into your stash.
Or your vault.
Or you can spend it.
Personal stuff.
Or into
I'll
art.
spend it.
I was thinking that. I don't think I
There's
actually
a slot
have.
in your back.
Yes.
I don't think I actually have a light armor piece.
Yeah, sorcerers don't wear armor by default, so.
So you just upgrade my skin.
Can do!
I will say the usual approach is mage armor.
Oh,
Just a spell that lasts 8 hours and gives you basically light armor type AC.
Okay.
Served in Toria well for 20 levels.
Yeah.
Never stopped casting it.
Yeah. Only other thing I got is a dagger, and I haven't used a dagger at all. But I might.
Daggers might be cheap to upgrade.
Okay, so we have personal stashes, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll put some of my coin in my
So as a
personal
reminder,
stash.
It's 2 to 1?
you can spend your coin to upgrade your stash as well. I think
Yeah.
it was.
Yep.
Or your...
Or you can put it in a vault. Vault is basically like safekeeping. Stash is like you're upgrading your situation. That's harder to get it back out of, but you need stash to support a vault.
So coin going into stash is 1 for 1. Coin coming out of stash is 2 for 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're selling the furniture, so to speak.
Right.
Okay. I'll put away 2 coin into my stash.
Okay.
I'm at 4. Is that bad, or is it over 4 that's bad?
It's over 4 that's
Okay.
bad. Cool. What else are you guys doing?
Arcs is considered. Well, I got a lot to work on and think about. Seeing that airship gave me a lot of ideas. I frankly, the situations that happened, I didn't feel terribly helpful, and I think there's some things I could do to improve that. So.
Well, that's good and all, but you mind holding on a sec?
Sure.
Especially you three. I mean, this is probably going to be boring for you, but...
What's up?
So, I know a little, magic, right? I mean, it's nothing special, just what they bang into your head if you're a shield.
I thought that was the case.
It's been different ever since that I passed out with that wheel thing. Well, there's 2 things that's different about it. I think they're both connected. Maybe they started happening at the same time. One of them is it's like I don't quite have control of it anymore. I mean, I can keep control of it, but I don't have
Lynn takes a step back.
Everyone takes a step back.
You ain't wrong. I mean, I started to heal. I noticed it when I started to heal him up, or heal Ark up rather. It started to, and it felt like it was going to work. Then it felt like it was going to work.
I thought you just had something against Warforged.
No.
That too.
But
I mean, it's a given.
it's like I couldn't control it. Like there was going to be more than I was expecting, and it was going to slip away from me.
Can I do an arcane check? Let's see if I've ever heard anything like that.
Have we heard of wild magic before in general?
Not bad. 17?
Yes.
Just goes, yes.
So
Mystery solved.
yeah,
Plenty.
so there's a fair amount of there's a lot of planes that are varyingly coterminous with EBERRON and not, and there are a number of schools of sorcery, basically, usually hedge mages, iterant folks that aren't really attached to an institution, but that sort of use the planes as a means of powering their chaotic powers.
Oh, hedge. Okay, I thought hedge mage meant they did like shrubbery.
No, that's a...
They make hedge mages.
That's a shrub mage.
Yes, that's a shrub mage.
I cross the 2 sometimes.
Yes.
Had to hedge your bets on that.
But the other thing is that I mean,
Don't look at me.
They don't.
We need to stop beating around the bush.
They don't teach you. They don't teach you a lot in the Shield. I mean, it's not not like they're training to be wizards or something. They just teach you a couple of things to help keep people put together. But
Well, it sounds like you might be connected to some kind of chaotic plane at this point.
what?
Ark will attempt to explain some arcane theory, and Maddie will just have those.
All right, give me
question
an Arcana check.
marks.
Yeah, give me a contested Arcana.
Oh!
A 9 and a natural 1.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. Ark is going to describe how the planes work. We're gonna do it as a group, one word at a time. So you can start.
I start.
Yeah.
Well,
The
Magic.
Comes.
Out.
Fast.
from
all
Orifices.
According.
To
Theories.
given
to
Scholars.
By.
gushing.
Power.
elementals.
And that's what Ark says.
The only thing
If you
coming
know,
out.
you can
The only
foresee.
thing coming
Learn
out
and
of an
prepare
orifice
for
We've
is
been
an
hacked.
explanation of yours.
I don't think that's right, but I don't know enough about magic to really contradict that.
It's all high level stuff.
Singer calls from down the hall. It's wrong. It's not. That's not it at all.
Really, really high level.
Forgot about that guy.
Oh god.
Really high level stuff.
But getting chaos magic does sound bad. What was the other thing that happened?
Well, the other thing is, I feel like I can do things with it that I don't know how to do, but I can do them.
Have you used a spell since then? Let one cast completely?
One. Yeah,
What was it?
well, it was when I was blessing them, but...
And you blessed
And that was your
them.
intent? and
Did
it
they
worked
teach
fine?
you that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I've done a lot, but that's not one of the...
Oh.
That's not one of the things that I don't remember.
Hmm.
I mean...
What's something that you don't remember that you think you can do?
Draws her sword slowly.
Oh, Lynn takes several steps back.
She concentrates on it a moment. This is a cantrip. Don't get too excited with the wild magic. And it
Lynn hides behind the
glows,
couch.
it glows white for a moment as she's holding it. It's like, I know, you've seen me stick things and they catch on fire before or blaze of light. This is different, I'm telling you.
What's that spell? Can I roll to see it? Or figure it out?
Maddie actually doesn't know.
Give me an Arcana check.
17?
Herbie, what is it?
That is the spell known as Radiant Blade.
Radiant Blade.
Should I just read?
Yes,
her the
please.
spell?
Yeah.
The description is that it's a melee attack as a spell. If you hit something with it and it moves after you hit it with it, they take radiant damage. Notably, that is definitely not something she's ever used before.
It's like a taser.
Yeah. Well, you filled your sword with radiant energy, so that's...
Well, I could have told you that.
That didn't seem
No.
that chaotic, really.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's
the
kind of in
gushing
line with everything we
scholars
know about
spoke of
you.
this.
And after a moment, it goes out.
Yeah, that kind of is in line with everything we know about you.
Alright.
It's in line, but it's not something they taught me.
So you learned some new stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, that's,
I learned some new stuff from passing out.
I don't know.
I mean,
Well, I guess if I'm going to mention that, I should...
I don't
None
know
of you
that-
saw... Oh, sorry, what?
I don't know how that divine stuff works necessarily. I know elf spells, but not necessarily.
You want to pull another explanation out of one of your orifices? Maybe?
Let me get the book of divine orifices.
Shouldn't have asked you to.
$39.95.
Look, none of you saw any kind of giant shadow monster thing, right?
no.
There were skeletons. They were kind of spooky.
No, they weren't skeletons. They were... It was big and it was shadowy and...
On the boat.
She seems very uncertain how she's describing
You
this.
saw this
Did you
on the
have
boat.
a vision?
That's the word. Yeah, one on the boat.
Okay, so Lynn has faked a lot of religious visions. So she's kind of watching this wary, but she sees that
We know
Maddie
that-
is being sincere.
Sincere and very confused.
Yeah, which
And even a
is
little
usually a good way of
scared,
playing
maybe.
a vision up if you're
Yeah.
trying to get others to help you.
Do we know that Lynn has faked a lot of
I don't think
Maddie
anyone
would
knows.
have- Maddie would
Nobody
have no
knows
idea.
anything about the shit Lynn's pulled. It's
Yeah.
great.
True.
None
what-
of the men or women in Lynn's life know how much she's faked.
What did you see in this vision?
Oh, it was... Well, I mean, the main thing was the monster. I mean, there was also the bit about me flying towards it with a snake around me. And that's
Okay, hold on. And Lynn's gonna pull out a couple of books. You're like, wait a minute. Okay, so you were.
How's some crazy thing I saw holding on to a wheel going to be in a book? I didn't write no
Well,
book.
No, it sounds like you may have had a religious vision.
Let's
so I'm just
consult
sort of
the
curious.
Book of Divine Orifices.
Yes.
I'm all
So would you say
That's not a thing! That's not one of the divine texts!
You don't know that!
Lynn hides that book real quick.
I'm almost positive I don't know, but I would like to roll religion to be like, have I ever seen a feather snake?
Yes, absolutely.
Pretty good. For once.
That's a 16 even.
So you have not yourself. However, as a consequence of your extracurricular activities, you do happen to know that there is a Yuan-Ti fighter who fights as a Coatl, whose outfit does have a pair of makeshift wings,
Nice.
and he is a snake.
Now,
Oh shoot, but I can't let them know that I know.
Yes!
now do you,
So I'm like,
did you say this was
I
more
see.
snake-like,
Feather
or
snake.
possibly a crocodile, or a salamander?
Snake, I'm pretty sure.
Snake.
Wait,
Okay, no legs?
wait. What's a salamander?
Salamanders are...
Does it have legs?
Yeah.
No, it was
It's
a
like King
snake.
Shark.
Okay, so no legs. Okay, And she's going to sort of run through... Does she have any idea of like a religion that might have a deity like that.
Give me a religion
yeah.
check.
That can't be my religion. 21.
Oh, good. My secret is safe.
Pass me the book.
Oh.
Just find the proper orifice.
Corn. God of chaos. Wait, no.
And so Lynn's going to ask you some questions, and once she gets an idea of a match, she's going to sort of ask you questions that guide you towards it.
I think she might connect with it a little bit more quickly.
What's corn the god of Warhammer?
Blood!
It was blood. Blood for the blood guy.
Blood.
Cornflakes.
No!
You want some cornflakes?
The god of Kellogg.
True story. That was the video I linked when Jeff joined the group in the Facebook group.
It's true.
Oh no.
And no one ever will.
This is delicious.
Yes! Not the head bite. Man. And then he went on to have a pretty successful YouTube presence.
Yes. Indeed.
Is this in the Dark Six or the Sovereign Host?
It's in a book somewhere.
Don't let me forget. There's something I want to bring up when we're the next thing. There's a forgotten plot thread.
Oh.
Oh.
Plot holes.
Forgotten Realms.
Or a forgotten sack of plot relevant items.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about that right now while I get what I think.
Okay.
I'm being coy about this because I think it'll be a nice reveal.
Okay.
But go ahead and dive into that now.
So I had a bag that I thought may in fact contain mega ghost coins, but
Oh,
this
yeah.
never really came up during the investigation.
Oh.
I didn't want to. It's whatever the saboteur, the Baron's saboteurs
It left in
had.
that
Yeah,
thing.
and I've conveniently not let them know that I made off with that. We did use that to catch them,
Yeah.
but we haven't actually looked at what it is. So I was wondering if we may want to get to a safe place, and if it looks similar, then we'll definitely want to have our
Our friend,
investigation team take a look.
Yeah,
We'll put on the bomb gear.
our resident chef
Yeah.
who makes the soup.
And
Yeah, I think that
well, and
chef
if it
would be
looks too specifically similar to the ghost coins, we may want to ask. Oh, come on, brain.
Go ahead.
Good at
Sure.
food. Good at food.
Yeah,
Sigurd.
that's what I was talking about to begin with.
Yeah.
Our resident.
Just say something wrong about magic and he'll reach around the corner like, that's completely wrong!
It's true. I will do that.
All right.
I love
Should
that.
have just asked him.
So we'll take it to the lab, maybe, and then open that bag up.
How is Lewin spelled, anyway?
Lewellyn.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah.
Phonetics.
Yeah.
I got the phonetic.
It's spelled Lelowin.
Yeah, Lillowin. Well, I
And
had
that always confused me because I saw the name written before I ever heard it pronounced. And so that drove me crazy for a
I
long
thought it
time.
was Llewellyn. It's L-L-E-W, right?
Yeah,
L-L-Y.
I'm just gonna.
Maybe I've just been saying it wrong.
I don't.
No,
No,
I've
no,
heard
I'm
it
not saying.
pronounced that way before. It's just completely different than the spelling suggested.
Okay, I can't find the dang thing, but here's the thing. The story of a paladin joining forces with a coatl to slay a demon lord is the foundational creation myth of the Silver Flame.
Oh. So Lynn
Ha.
didn't even need to roll religion.
No.
She just knew that.
Yes.
And there's probably a little fight.
Well, I think putting together that he was talking about a flying snake
Yeah.
may have
Been the roll. Okay.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
What? What is
So
it?
well, you're fighting a demon. Okay. You kind of are describing. I think you went through a shock, and I think you may have heard a story before. And I think you may be internalizing that some. You're describing the creation myth of the Silver Flame. You know, the made-up thing for how they think the world came to be. Not the world
No.
came to be. How the Silver Flame came to
how
be.
the Silver Flame came into the world.
How the Silver Flame came into the world. And it's this legend that they kind of made up.
one question: would Maddie know the silver flame is actually a real present entity?
It's a big deal, isn't it?
I mean, it is in Thrain,
Yes.
and maybe Maddie's heard of that necessarily. Whether or not Maddie actually believes that that's a real,
That's
true
fair.
thing is,
Yeah.
I think
that's
up to you.
definitely. Yeah, that's.
There's
she
a room
definitely
with
wouldn't
a
have thought
fire
of-
in it, and that's
Yeah.
like, eh.
Okay, so you're saying more or less it was just a dream put together by my head.
And so out of character, Lynn is like on that line. I'm not trying to tell you how to play your character. Lynn is just very much not about the silver flame as she's saying this. I'm
That's
not trying to
fair.
like steer your character.
No, that's
Lynn is.
No worries. No worries about that. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, that makes sense. I mean, it's better than most of the alternatives I could think of, but then where'd the other stuff come from?
Well,
I mean, I
the
don't.
spells work. I mean, they're the ones I didn't learn and they work. It's not just
Well,
nonsense that doesn't do anything.
like I said earlier, you could still also be tied to a plane that lets you channel energies from it.
I'm sure there's a perfectly logical, non-religious explanation for this.
Could it have had anything to do with the deaths of the paladins on the ship? Could they have had some like lingering will that?
Like possession?
Why didn't they
Or
help out
they're-
while I was fighting the damn person that killed him and they wait till I pass out and come later? I don't know.
Well, we
Well-
can speculate any number of things.
Yeah,
and we're going to know from what we know now.
This is something that I think you should explore at the very least, perhaps against my better judgment. It's if you'd like, I have some texts on the Silver Flame you could sort of read up on. I would strongly encourage you to
Maddie
read
know how to
these.
read?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she does.
Yeah. I thought we established it was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
common.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'd encourage you to read these with sort of a hold of speculation or skepticism, as you.
Yeah, I think I got that.
Maddie doesn't
Like-
strike me
like-
as a skeptic sort.
Like out of character, I'm expecting you to see this stuff and fully dive in, which is Linsworth Nightmare.
That actually might not happen with Maddie. She's an
I
interesting
mean,
sort.
well, Maddie did go through a religious event.
She did.
So the weird thing is, like, out of character, I'm like Lynn is trying to guide you in one way, but I'm as a player not wanting.
No,
that to work.
I get it.
Not wanting you to listen to Lynn.
Yeah, which I think is going to happen a lot in this game.
Well, look, and I'll read them. That's fine. But I guess the thing we got to focus on for now then is that, I mean, my magic gets out of control. It's not exactly reliable.
Right. Well, just
I
be
don't know.
careful with what you're doing, I guess. But
Yeah, it seems to be okay if I keep it to small stuff. It's when I start trying to do something else that it starts to get a little harder to keep.
Get out of your hands.
Finally, like, Sigurd has, like, been slowly just, like, creeping down the hallway and is like what?
I don't know. I've never let it get out of control. That's what I'm trying to stop from happening.
you just feel
Maybe
like
you
it will at
should-
this point.
Maybe you should try.
Yes, maybe you should.
I'll guinea pig.
just as an experiment. I mean, after all, this is a safe place. You have friends and allies here to contain any sort of danger that may occur. I'm not trying to tempt you. I'm simply putting it out there as a possibility to understand what you're capable of. Better to know, yes.
Maybe we ought to go up on the roof or something.
Yes, brilliant.
Okay.
Right. Is this place we should also look at those?
Maybe one at a time. Maybe not
Yeah,
bring
yeah,
the
yeah.
bring
Oh,
the
yeah, those are not-
dangerous things
Let's
together.
leave them in the workshop and then.
Let's
go
just
on
have
the-
him
No.
cast his stuff, her stuff. Let's
On
have her
the-
cast her stuff on the coins.
Okay, we're not gonna mix those.
Yeah,
those
they're
two
staying
kerosene
down
gases.
Two
here.
birds, one
We're
stone.
going up
We need
there.
a control for an experiment.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a particular room we can leave those in. Please, not in the workshop. There's
Okay.
things in progress in the workshop. I don't want those things to blow up in the
Sure,
workshop.
sure. All right.
Certainly. All right.
I've been busy.
I'm excited to hear what
You
she
arrive
said.
on the roof.
All right.
Well, what manner of possibilities lie before you?
You really just want me to let it go?
I want you to do what you think you're capable of.
What's the last spell that you felt was getting out of control?
It was when I tried to. Well.
Oh,
Yeah.
blessing. So wait, was there a chance when you blessed those that you could have set them on fire?
There's no chance I could have blown up the engine. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Lynn
It was
would have
very
been so angry
it's 1 in
if she's
20.
performing the last rites and then the corpses explode in her face.
It would have been way better if we got one of the like inconsequential but very silly ones.
Oh yeah.
a
They
feather
all
appeared
start-
until you sneeze.
It's not your job to turn out a funeral, but sometimes that's what you have to do.
I'm capable of it, huh?
Sorry for party rocking.
No, is there a practice dummy or something? Where's that thing you got me for?
Oh, yeah. I'll pull it out.
What?
Yeah, that ought to be perfect.
Is this like an inflatable dummy?
It's a
It's-
collapsible snowman.
It was a Secret Santa.
Oh my god!
Or, excuse
That's
me, it's
amazing.
Hidden Solstice.
Yes.
You,
Crouching Dummy Hidden Solstice.
Yes.
so she kind of looks uncertainly at Sigurd, isn't
Yeah,
he?
Sigurd.
Sigurd. Everything I got, huh?
Well, I'm not saying
Like,
unleash your full potential. I'm just saying do what
Something.
do what you feel is appropriate.
All right. How wide is the roof?
It's pretty big. I think this is like 60 by 60.
Perfect.
Eats.
Put that way over on the other side. I think I know. I think it'll prove.
Lynn's
I'm
like
not-
hiding at the stairwell, peeking up above the top stair barely.
Ark's just standing there like, what? What's going on?
All right, she back and Maddie
Like
backs.
facing the wrong way.
And Maddie backs all the way up to the opposite end of the roof. She draws her sword
Vark it up!
and she casts a spell. Are you forcing?
I'm gonna force it. Yes.
That's kind of the requirement here.
Yes.
I hope you have a pronounce because I keep forgetting to make it.
Oh, I do.
Oh,
Don't
excellent.
you worry.
All right.
I custom
Okay.
formatted it and everything.
Awesome.
Fireball, oh,
Fireball,
we die.
fireball, fireball.
The result is an 68.
So I had rolled earlier, and I'm going to use that roll
Oh.
because I think it's better for this particular situation.
All right.
Describe the spell that you're casting.
All right. Maddie has her sword in hand. She starts to run, and as soon as she takes a step, she starts trailing a ridiculous amount of flame behind her, and there are fiery wings behind her as she casts the Phoenix Strike spell and starts racing towards the dummy, looking almost like a fire elemental herself, but at rather high speed.
So I think like partway through, almost just as part of like some sort of a natural levitation, whether it's from your wings or whatever, you sort of like, you're still like heading towards the target, but you're coming in at an angle. And to all onlookers, it looks as though maybe you're flying at first, but no, something materializes underneath you. You are like riding some sort of a powerful force. There is something hurtling through the air, and sure enough, by the time you actually strike the surface of the thing, you are astride this mighty unicorn whose own mane is like bristling with light and flame. Silver flame.
Whoa!
Oh
You
no!
can summon things?
What? Holy shit!
That's some hollow
No,
stuff.
where did you come from? You can't understand a word I'm saying, can you? Oh, well, Maddie kind of gingerly gets off of the unicorn that she found herself riding, and
It sort of trots around looking at like...
So this is EBERRON.
Yep.
Assuming unicorns are a thing.
Yeah, everyone's heard of unicorns.
Yeah.
so
I don't know if you've heard of a herd of unicorns, but...
sorry about that. I didn't mean to call you.
What's its name?
You know, if I had to make up what would have happened up here, I feel like this is where I might have gone, but only because I wouldn't have believed it.
I don't
hello.
know if any spells to summon well, actually, maybe. Sorry. 15.
Thank you for coming.
The unicorn like looks over its shoulder at the practice dummy
Yeah.
and is like,
Well, I won't trying to call you. I was just trying to. I didn't.
it turns around
That is
and
the
it's
most
like,
judgmental unicorn. I love it.
and it like leaps and disappears in a shimmer of flame as it jumps off of the roof and into another dimension.
Oh.
So
I wanted to keep it.
So the fire thing was supposed to happen. That's what I thought was gonna happen.
Okay.
The unicorn showing up.
That wasn't a spell?
No, that's what happened from letting it go.
Okay, I think that we're gonna be
Not do
careful
that anymore. How about that? Yeah.
That's on the list of good ideas. That's Sigurd. Do you have any ideas or thoughts? This is interesting.
Indubitably.
So you just summon a unicorn anytime you cast a spell? What's the big deal?
I mean, it's useful, right?
I don't think it's always the
Speed.
unicorn.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
I suspect that whatever it is that you're encountering, it's a case of having too much power, not enough direction. As if you're, instead of turning on a faucet, simply smashing it off, such that the water simply floods through the pipe, gushing, as it were.
Well,
as a scholar makes it.
That's what they meant.
Too much office.
that's sort of what it feels like, but what do I do about it?
I think you simply have to learn how to regulate your control over this divine power. Perhaps some understanding of why this particular source of divinity has chosen you as its outlet may provide some insight.
Well, wait a minute.
I suppose that depends on what degree of faith you have.
Faith, divinity, I mean, she kind of looks back at Lynn. You were kind of sounding like it probably wasn't that way. You seem pretty convinced. What's going on? Well, I mean, which is it?
I can't say whether or not you're some select chosen of the Silver Flame, or if even the Silver Flame is responsible.
They could do a hell of a lot better, frankly speaking.
And there are many forces in this world that may have a reason to disguise themselves as the Silver Flame.
I don't know if I like the sound of that.
Indeed. But very often the simplest explanation is the correct one.
I don't think I've heard an explanation yet that's simple.
No, but regardless of where these powers have come from, they exist.
Not much is clear. I just rode a unicorn across a rooftop.
I admit, if I had not seen it myself, I may not have believed it.
I'm still not sure I do. I mean, and I could still be passed out holding on to that ring.
Consider this then. If you can't believe the things that your own heart is telling you, consider what those surrounding you may believe.
There was definitely a unicorn.
Yeah, I'm on Team Unicorn. I'm going to be honest
That
with
was
you.
pretty solid.
However these powers came to you, they are yours.
Just go.
That much is true. What did I hear about a magical device of some kind?
All right.
Right.
We believe that this was being used to sabotage the airship, perhaps. And I'll take out the bag from wherever we stored it. Whether this is on the roof or wherever he wanted to take it.
I think once he sees one of these discs, he's actually going to consider... Change my mind. Let us indeed go to the workshop.
Okay.
To the stairs!
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
We're in the workshop now.
Oh, good.
Indeed.
It's just a slight pull.
Oh! He's wearing a robe. No one wants to see that.
He goes first.
I have here a perfectly ordinary pot.
This is how magic tricks usually start. That's... Sorry.
Yes, indeed.
Flowers?
But the trick will be a different sort, I believe. The pot is being heated at a very precise temperature to very, very carefully heat the absolutely delicious bisque inside.
Ooh.
We're going to interrupt that process. The bisque will be ruined.
What's the good news?
It wasn't going to be that good of a bisque. No, I'm sorry. I was trying to do like with...
Man.
It's always... I'm so sorry. It's always good.
Takes one of the discs and sets it very carefully on the floor. Fair enough, good man. Would you be so kind as to step on this lightly? Don't stomp it. Don't aim to destroy it with your powerful thighs.
Maddie's got her hand on her sword hilt.
I'll
Please
just
don't make a roll for this.
very gradually.
Simply step it.
Yeah.
Step on it. But I wouldn't remain standing on it.
Then start stepping back.
And as you do, there's sort of and it sort of shudders a little bit in place. And it actually seems to have like burnt out itself. It's almost as if there was a fuse in the center, it had deliberately short-circuited itself. But simultaneous to that, whatever magical mechanism it is that you had working the pot simultaneously and whisks out.
Oh my god, these are amazing. How many do we have?
One more.
There are 4 more.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So
Yes.
Arc shorts out.
what
The
do you-
bisque will cool immediately, spoiling.
Let's serve it now.
Indeed.
And then as we serve, what would have happened if he stayed standing on it?
I imagine it would have stung.
Fair.
Unless he was made of magic, in which case he might have died.
He's not made of magic, are you?
Not quite.
That would be spoilers.
Bork.
Pork.
Oh no, pork!
He just turns into a Shiba Inu forever. Yes!
I
got him!
understand that reference. Where did you come across such marvelous toys?
Oh.
Skyboat.
Yeah, someone wanted to sabotage an airship.
Did they succeed?
Oh,
Yes.
Sorta.
No.
Well,
No, actually,
They
they
did not.
did not.
I'm getting a lot of mixed messages here.
Well, it's
They-
a
This is
It was a
complicated
very
situation.
confusing day.
yes, they did. However, we saved the crew and we saved the ship, but the ship sunk in the sea at the end.
Well, you are alive and you have more toys.
And more bisque.
And more bisque. What have any of us truly to complain about?
Chaotic
Maddie
magic.
actually might.
That's true. Somewhere in the multiverse, a unicorn has had a slightly more frustrating day.
Yeah. Yeah, from the unicorn's perspective, that was just like really weird, right?
Well, I didn't mean to.
Well, no, I'm not blaming you. I'm just sort of like
I bet it
imagining, putting
Unicorn's,
ourselves
like,
in its hooves.
ready to like fight and stuff. It got summoned for a fight, and then instead it's just like,
I didn't mean to. I told you that.
Oh man, somewhere the unicorn is playing unicorn eldritch horror, and they just had like an otherworld encounter, and they didn't actually passed the check.
Yes, it's true.
Nice.
I wonder if we just look like crabs to them. The
Coconut
Migo.
crabs.
Oh, God. Well,
What
it's
is
killing.
I wish I had more to report on this infernal idol, but it has frustrated my attempts thus far. I hope to make some progress, but I'll have to investigate alternative approaches.
We have that necklace that had a similar conductive property.
Yeah, we wanted to have Ark fully analyze it in the lab.
Okay.
Or do we want Sigurd to do it? I was gonna have Ark do it.
We can have everybody
Give it a
take a
shot.
look. Yeah.
Sigurd's closer to the. Alright. That's a scanning noise.
for 10 minutes?
10 minutes of.
There's like a bar above his head, and you see it slowly like ticking to
Oh,
one
it's very
side.
good. It goes, ding.
If you give me $5, it'll be done sooner.
Not nice.
5 coin? That's really expensive.
Credit?
Careful with cameras.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So what are you doing? Detect magic?
Yes.
Cool.
Or identify it.
It's
That's more
identify.
All right, it is a valuable ruby necklace. You suspect that it's probably worth 3 coin all on its own, but it is not inherently magical itself.
It had the residue of magic, did it not?
It did, yes, in that it has probably been used as part of a magical spell
Oh, and that part is ended.
and has not been consumed, regardless of whatever the involvement may have been.
Interesting.
Maybe we
Maybe
could
it's a
ask.
focus
Maybe we
or
could ask Sigurd what sort of spell you would use then.
And this is some very, very powerful necromantic talents. If someone did indeed transfer some souls from one place to another, then they may have used this as a temporary receptacle when another soul needed to be vacated from a institution, so to speak.
Ah,
Yeah. Okay. That checks out.
Well, aside from that, it's not magical anymore. It's actually worth a pretty penny.
Let's sell it.
Yeah. Alright.
We can put that in the stash.
I'll buy it at a high price.
Well, really? Where'd you get money?
Oh, I was just... it's something from a play. I'm sorry.
A thing, from a thing.
No worries. Well, look, we shouldn't go out alone anymore, especially trying to sell something like that. What with Joro and his folk possibly after us.
Oh, right.
Right.
Joro.
Do we
still
have like the
exists.
specific Joro heat score?
No.
I believe
Joro.
I believe that is at Joro out of 10.
Oh God.
Ries is ready to kill.
Yeah.
Well, I did actually, before we left,
Let's take some fingers.
investigate a little bit on that matter.
All right.
He might have had the right idea after all. Seems like he's supported by one of the big four gangs. And the idea is that if he runs into trouble, he'll probably run to them.
So we gotta be a little bit more delicate with
Subtle would be good,
that
yeah.
situation.
Yeah. I mean, we can still look for his rivals, and I can still try and find more information. We all can, but I don't think force is the best answer here if it's just going to mean getting one of them involved.
Well, we do owe my fingers smashing at something.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Well,
Until then, just stay safe. Don't go out alone.
yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
Like I was saying earlier, I'm gonna go lock myself in the lab for a bit.
Alright. Maybe, hey, I bet you're pretty good at convincing people to buy things. Maybe we ought to go sell that necklace so we got the coin from it.
Do we want to do a straight up sell or do we want to do a con? Are we selling the ruby necklace or are we selling a necklace that looks like the ruby necklace and they think they're buying the ruby necklace? Because I think at this moment we should probably just sell the ruby necklace, but I'm not going to turn down the chance to play. You know.
If you think you can pull it off, wouldn't hurt to have one more coin.
Well, no, this would be we basically acquire a glass ruby and then I trick a person into buying the wrong thing.
You don't think there's a... I mean, they've surely got ways of preventing that from happening, but everybody
That's the
does it.
con. No, there's literally a con of selling items. This
To be fair,
jewelry.
that doesn't sound like something Maddie would put together.
Okay. Like,
You ever
oh
thought-
man,
If
oh
you
honey.
want something
If
bad,
anyone,
Mr. Amanda?
if you ever see a traveler who is trying to get home or trying to get a message to somebody desperately, and they just need a couple of coin, and they have a ring or necklace or something worth several coin, and you know it's a really good deal to get this ring from them, don't buy it.
Well, no, why would you do that? It's probably a scam.
I've bought quite a few,
That's-
and they've never been
Well,
worth
that's
it.
my point. Everybody knows that. Who's going to buy this fake thing from you?
There's a lot of people who do. Would.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do that, what do we need the real one for? I might
They have
as well
to, no, they have to examine the real one.
Oh, you're saying switch them out at some point.
Yeah, that's the con.
That makes a little more sense.
Which is why if you ever see a ring and this is a really good one, don't. It's not the one time it's real.
Well, I would never assume it was. I don't know what a real one looks like versus a fake one. Showing me don't make any difference.
Maddie summons the unicorn.
I'm going to
Before the
just
switch.
sell. I'm just going to sell it straight up.
Make sure I'm going with you, right? I mean,
If you would like, you only lose one exhaustion a thing, right?
well,
I think we were multiple days.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
been
okay.
3 or 4
She's
days.
fine now.
On the
I was like,
open sea.
I think I want to prescribe bed rest for you still, but okay. Yeah, you can come with me if you'd like. I was gonna go to work, but I can do this on my way.
What could go wrong?
A lot of things.
Well, look, I mean, out of
Fire
the
everywhere.
least of us, I mean, no offense, you're the one I'd be worried about most if Jordo's folk caught up to you alone.
Honey, if I go out on my own not wanting Jordo's folk to recognize me, they're not going to recognize me.
Actually, out of character. Jor only knows.
Joro knows me. No, he knows
Us?
an identity.
Right.
He knows
He does
my
know one of your
Jonathan
identities.
identity.
I think he only knows the three of us directly.
Yeah,
He
he doesn't
knows
know.
what-
He doesn't know
yeah.
Lynn.
He might,
He
he
doesn't
might know what my
know
mask
Ries.
looks like.
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe they know a ninja.
The trouble with that whole idea is that if it finally goes wrong, you're not going to find out about it until someone sticks a sword in you. I mean, it ain't gone wrong yet, but it only has to go wrong once, you know?
Yeah, ain't gone wrong before.
You know, you're young yet. At least I think you are. You wearing any of that stuff now?
The lady never tells.
Don't let him out, please. Thank you. Okay. You can let him
Don't
in
take
there.
him with you.
I would never let your dog out without asking.
Thank you.
Polo did not like that news.
Oh. So we're gonna go sell a ring? Not a ring, necklace. Lynn
Sell whatever
also
you want.
sells several fake rings while we're out. She's just gonna straight up sell it.
Okay. You get 3 coin.
Hooray!
You did it.
Yay. And then Lynn's immediately gonna go to work.
To work?
Yeah.
We
What do you mean?
She wants to go to the clinic.
Clinic.
Oh!
Her job! That's literal job!
That's volunteer work and you know it.
I mean, I was offered a paying position.
You were. And you steadfastly refused.
Which, I mean, in meta, yeah, like...
I think you're offered like one like permanent job a score.
Pretty much.
No, that's been
campaign.
it. Lynn is very employable. She's in high demand.
Well, whoever Lynn happens to be is very employable.
Yeah, her resume is forged and just looks wonderful. She's got like the King's Commendation of Honor on there, and for some reason people
It
believe
says
that.
here you were the chef of police. That's very impressive. I stole that joke from Griffin McElroy, just so everyone knows.
That's pretty good though.
I really like that. That's really good.
That sort of thing is exactly why Maddie did not learn forgery. That would happen all the time.
Oh boy.
What?
We were talking about Lynn's previous job as the chef of police.
Yes.
Sweet. Okay, good. What is everyone else doing while Lynn is at the clinic?
Training with
Red?
Red, yeah.
Okay. Baron?
Sorry,
That's fine. We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Remember that you have,
Brain
because
fence.
of the virtue of having a trauma, you have a particular condition you can satisfy or otherwise not satisfy.
Only if I have actual stress though, right? If I'm at 0, I don't think I have to do it. I think.
I want to say you take one regardless whether or not you have any to begin with.
It's not what I remember. Yeah, I would look it up because it would affect my choices definitely if that is
Which,
the
like,
case.
one stress isn't that bad.
No, but I still want to know. Because that's the thing. I mean, even if the rule is that I have to at 0, I'm not going to do something that's literally a guaranteed bad result.
So what we're talking about is there's a rule for trauma in the Blades in the Dark rules that says if you... So each downtime... The way that it's written in the book, at least, and I'm not saying that that's the rule we're necessarily using, but the idea is that if you cannot do not indulge your vice during a downtime phase, then you take stress equal to your trauma. If you don't have any trauma, you're free to ignore your vice if you don't really feel like it, because you don't really have a thing to worry about just yet.
So that starts getting you overindulging all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
it's so
boy.
stressful.
Yeah, I don't remember if that's what I don't feel like that's exactly what it was in our PDF though.
So, let
If it's
me
at 0, you're guaranteed to get.
double check. I'm looking at the downtime doc now.
No.
Indulge vice is written in the vice. Training. I might have deliberately left that part out and just not remembered it.
I don't feel like that's the case.
I don't remember that's been mentioned before.
Well, it's never come up before. No one has.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like I definitely saw something about it there. It's definitely not left out, but.
But this would just put you at 1.
Theoretically, I mean, yeah.
I mean, I imagine overindulging can cause you to acquire stress as one of the
Heck, my
possible.
vice causes me to acquire stress. What are we talking about?
I'll tell you what, let's not worry about it
Okay,
right
yeah, it's
now
not-
because I don't want it to
That's
affect
fair.
necessarily what it is that you're doing for this downtime, but we'll
Okay.
figure it out before we get to the next downtime.
That's fair. Yeah.
Ries, do you have any particular plans?
Can I go back to the embassy?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Oh
No.
boy.
Die.
Yeah.
Or
Awesome.
kill everyone? One of the two.
Okay. So Lynn, you are you put in a visit and get to work taking care of some patients. Give me a medicine check.
Medicine. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna stress that.
Okay.
depending on what's going on. And it's too stress to success, right?
Yes, that is correct. Let's say you tell me what kind of a situation has Lynn sort of come into in this particular visit.
It starts off as a pretty calm day, and then there's one of those things where a whole bunch of kids got sick at once.
Okay.
It was like a school. They
Lice
all got
outbreak.
a what?
Lice.
Lice.
That'll be it.
Yeah.
Oh! And so we get there, and it's me, and it's, what was her name? Nellie. Me and Nellie are standing there, and there's a lice outbreak. And I look over to my Minotaur friend, Nellie. Look over to the lice outbreak. I play rock, scissors, paper, and win. And I'm like, and I look at her, I'm like, and I go do it. And I go take the kids for this lice outbreak, which is long and difficult and just not a good day.
It's gross, and you resolve to throw away the wig that you have today.
Yes. Oh, God. I'm
Cool. Are you spending another coin?
going to spend another coin, and that finishes my job there.
Congratulations. Do you say as much to Nellie? Are you planning on coming back? Do you just try and leave like it's an ordinary day?
Burn the place down.
I'm trying to think about how Lynn's going to
Get rid of
react to
the
this, because
lice.
she kind of feels like she's learned all she can. But this has also been something that's made her feel pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, for Lynn, she just sort of sneaks out the back door at the end of the day.
Okay. Cool. Ark, what are you working on?
Ark's in the workshop, and Ark will probably be there for the next day or so, just working on some heavy upgrades. And if anyone were to, by chance, walk by, they'd see like Ark like lifting up his feet and like looking at them and just kind of like drilling things into Ark's feet.
You want to know what the bottom of a Warforged shoe looks like?
Oh man, I learned a thing. Do you know what newborn baby horses' hooves look like?
No, I don't want to.
Don't Google it. Don't Google it.
That's going to be a
Don't
nightmare.
Google it.
That's going to be a nightmare.
It's
There's
a
no
nightmare.
Way.
I
There's
just
no
intentionally
way.
removed my ability to see detail, and I can't. And this image isn't anywhere in front of me.
Squeaky, don't look. Don't look, Squeaky. Don't do
Squeaky,
it.
no!
Squeaky, don't do it. Don't look at the hooves.
Why are you looking it up, Lobos? No. I don't want to see the reflection in your glasses either.
I want to wait.
Have you ever seen?
Yeah, there's more skin than you were expecting, right?
Have you ever seen?
I don't even know what that is. It looks like a Lovecraftian like scarab.
Squeaky, don't look. You poor baby.
So,
my
what
God.
you're telling me is unicorns look like that all
I
the time.
don't want
Ugh.
that. Anyone else want to see?
No!
I'm so glad I saw that.
Have you ever seen an X-ray of a baby?
It looks like
Their
oh my God.
their joints aren't connected. They look like the people from Wall-E, where they're like the really fat people, and like none of the joints are connected. So you just see like arm bone and arm bone, and there's like this fat space in between the two of them.
Same.
That's kind of gross looking.
You arrive at the tavern, and Red is terrifically pleased to see you. She's like, "Listen, quick game today. We're in the midst of some planning, some organization. Might be something you could get involved in if you're interested. It's gonna be a big affair. I'm really looking forward to it."
Tell me about it.
Do you like food?
Who doesn't?
Would you consider yourself a gourmand?
Deception check to pretend she knows what that is. 8. Maybe?
I've been known to gore some moms.
Especially the Pokemon.
Red sort of pats you on the shoulder. It's like, we'll make one out of you yet. We're throwing a banquet.
A banquet.
A banquet. Banquet for those that never really get to have one.
Hey.
You've heard of soup kitchens and that sort of thing. Well, there's a holiday coming up, and we're going to make sure that everyone that should be able to have a proper holiday feast gets to have one.
That's an awful good idea. Insight check while she's saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
19.
So you can tell that she means what she's saying, but there's definitely an ulterior motive to whatever is happening here.
She's going to poison everyone.
No.
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 Even Maddie wouldn't guess something like that.
No, but she may recruit them into a revolution.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, I'm going to recruit them into a revolution.
I don't have to cook anything, right? I mean, I can help with cleaning stuff. I don't got mine working. Just the last time I tried cooking something, it didn't go well.
Do you know, I had you in mind for security?
We're good.
Good. Let's play.
Alright.
Give me a, what have we been rolling for this?
I think it was deception or something like that.
Deception's good.
A little different this time.
Okay.
He seems to be concentrating extra hard on the game.
Okay.
And is benefiting from the guidance cantrip. So deception with an extra.
Are you disguising this spellcast? How is that getting
The
executed?
unicorn smashes the table.
She actually doesn't think to disguise it. So
Okay.
she basically. I'll read the description since that seems to be.
Yeah, that's a
relevant.
good call.
It doesn't have much of one, but let's see. Guidance. Let's see.
Oh, sorry, it's making noise.
Okay.
Guidance. You touch one willing creature. Once before the spell ends, the target can add d4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of its choice. It can roll the die before or after making the ability check when
Okay.
the spell ends.
Okay, I'm going to say that there's not a terrific amount of visual to that anyway.
She just kind of has this on her head, and she's not even really thinking about doing it. It's one of those new instinctive spells of hers.
So let's see how you roll.
All right. So deception with an extra d4.
You needed a d4.
8. She has an 11 so far. Is that successful?
It is successful, but it's not enough to like really impress Red. I think you win, but only barely. You've had better victories against her before.
Okay.
You all right? You seem a little distracted.
It's. Oh, sorry. I'm asking a question. So it is known we were on the ship that went down in the water, right? I mean, it's not a bad thing if that's known because we.
Yes, that's fair.
You heard about that sky ship that kind of went down?
Oh, sure. The whole town's talked about the Golden Dragon.
I was on that.
No.
Yeah. We're the only reason that anyone got off that thing at all.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Word going around is that these 3 knights that were on board,
Yeah.
they got skewered by the storm elemental that went loose. Do you see that happen?
There ain't nothing of them left.
It's a true statement.
I know.
Yeah, she's using persuasion, not deception. That's an 11. Natural 1.
Okay, that's fine.
You know, I don't brook a whole lot with religion, but bless them.
That's her laughing at.
Ries, you arrive at the House Lyrandar estate.
It's like I did want to spend 1 coin for the extra.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Like I know we're in a hurry. I'll make it up to you, but I do want to sneak in one more game. That's all right.
Sure.
Google. And that actually brings Maddie up to enough to get the second part of the Sentinel feat.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
I have a pretty good idea of what I might want to do also.
Okay.
I think I want to follow suit and also try and train skills.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's do Ries first.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Ries,
We need
you-
montage music for like all the skill training, like the Rocky theme or something.
I literally wrote character themes.
Oh, have you been playing them?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not hearing them.
What? Oh.
Well, they are.
Are they playing right now?
I mean, they're quiet
Well,
for
this,
work.
right now it stopped because I switched to Reese's
Oh.
theme music.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just so used to the like nice little background music that I've. Okay, yeah. My brain is just accepting it as the nature of the world. This beautiful background music.
Immersion.
Ries, you arrive and the receptionist doesn't even she goes out of her way not to make eye contact with you. She's like, "He'll see you in a moment. You can please have a seat."
Okay. Crazy weather we're having, huh?
It was just raining down.
Oh.
After a few more minutes, Florin comes to fetch you.
Hello.
Leads you upstairs. Stone-faced. Silent.
Crazy weather we're having, huh?
He stops.
Bumps into him. Oh, yeah. No.
Continues on. Opens the door to your father's office. Inside, Tyrus is finishing up the document.
Hey, Paps.
If you call me that again, I'll have your eyebrows lit on fire. One at a time.
Ries probably doesn't really have much for eyebrows, but they're very light colored, so he's like...
So he's really willing to risk it, is what you're saying?
Don't sound like me.
Oh, no.
Most concerning thing.
Okay, so... So, give me your report. Give me what your take on the situation is.
Well, it seems like we need better vetting of the people who get on board and a better investment in creating these ships that are falling apart all over the place. And probably more than one person on board that knows how to run the thing and make it tick. I don't know, what do you think?
Don't forget the insufficient lifeboats.
Goodbye, eyebrows.
Fire control systems.
So...
Oh, we're gonna miss you.
Did you know there was going to be two very close to warring factions trying to make peace, and that there was going to be two separate parties attempting to sabotage this fantastic voyage? And
The first part, yes. The second part, no.
well,
So I think it balances out. Here's what I think. I think that the points that you bring up, they are not incorrect. And I think that clinically, you bring up some very good points. I think that perhaps I should not have rushed into putting you in a position like the one that you're in without adequate support. That's on me. That said, the Golden Dragon is at the bottom of the ocean, and there is still some concern about an international incident of some kind. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to follow up on a couple of those suggestions. You, I think, are going to play a little bit more of like a background role just for a little while, just to try and mitigate some of the crisis of the ship and the ocean.
sure. I mean,
And
that's where ships can go, though.
right.
What?
Let me
No, you got it.
let me ask you this, son. What is it that you want?
Out of what?
Out of this is like, I see.
I don't want to be a captain, that's for sure.
Fair. And perhaps it was unreasonable of me to expect that of you, but it is clear that you have valuable insights into how things could be done better. If only you were more an active member of the institution. Instead, so much of what you have done seems counter to that. This adventure with your companion, these extended hiatuses and such?
Well, I'll be honest. When I ended up not being dragon marked, like Jorah and Ries, felt kind of, left out of everything, and started to try and find my own path, really. But if there's some role that I can play that's not so upfront, like you say, kind of blending in the background.
I think he actually stands up and walks around and leans back on his desk and is like,
He stood up. Wait, you've been making eye contact?
yeah.
Oh, weird.
This is strange.
Yeah, you're very uncomfortable.
Are my eyebrows on fire?
Not yet.
You
Not
don't
yet.
know. Yeah, you haven't noticed yet.
Ries, I have neglected your duties as a father, but more importantly, as your manager. And I'm going to make that up to you.
That seems very big of you. I don't know what to say.
That's what leadership means.
Being huge.
Being as big as possible. Being the biggest person in the room by being the smallest. It's part of a new seminar series that I'm working on.
Workshop.
I'll tell you what. Recover from this incident. Stay out of trouble. But take what time you need to, decompress. Come back maybe after a 10-day or so, and we'll talk more about your future here. It's going to be good. It's going to be good for everyone.
All right, then. Is there that public mailbox system or whatever? Remember the big thing that Lynn was going to leave a message for the...
Yes. Yeah.
Is that something that Ries would have a box at or anything? Or is that
So what it is...
more of a public thing?
It's a public thing, and there are some sections that are designated as this is more Dragon House type business and stuff like that. People can post stuff there, but usually people that are paid to patrol them will take down prank stuff. And then there's publicly available slots and stuff like that.
Okay.
House Lyrandar heirs definitely have sort of a designated space that they're allowed to use.
I guess I should ask, is there any way that my father can get in contact with me without necessarily sending something to the Raven Skull?
He could send you a message spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have wizards.
Okay.
Life's much more convenient when it's not illegal to do
Yeah.
such
Wow, this is weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine that there's also Harry Potter type, I give a magical bird a thing and the bird just finds you wherever you are. That kind of thing.
Alright. Poor Tanger. His life is much less glamorous in this world.
It's
11.
Oh, God.
kind of going back, was there any attempt on that in contacting Ries before when he was missing?
I think that probably there were more than a couple
Okay.
of rings that you just sort of ignored or hung
Okay.
up on, that kind of thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Assuming they spent the coin in order to get those to happen. Magic's not free,
That's fair.
But if you're in good standing, then you can have a certain number of international calls each day.
Nice. Okay. Well, honestly.
Great! Goes back behind his desk and sits down.
My eyebrows! Just kidding. All right. Bye.
All right.
See you in 10 days. Where's the door? Oh, yeah.
Florin's literally holding it open.
Oh.
He's on the good stuff.
Crazy web.
Yeah.
Farron, where are you and what you doing?
Well, if possible, I'd like to go back to see home again.
Yes.
And hopefully this time we'll stake out something that I'm not quite so personally involved.
Yes. Hopefully.
Also have to say that seminar, I feel like Joro's already been to it.
Oh, goodness gracious. He's a platinum member. Yes, you join up with Holm, and he takes you this time to an area in Cliffside near where the docks are. This time in particular, he seems to be interested in a little bit of a... Human trafficking is the wrong word because there are also demi-humans involved. But he brings you to another bar, sort of a slummy seaside kind of place. The kind of place that has like nets and buoys for decoration, and also there's like a knife stuck in the bar, but people use it as a bottle opener, that kind of thing. There's like an anchor in a place where you don't expect it to be, but not like TGI Fridays. Like this is like the real kind of place that has an anchor. Man, one time I was in a restaurant like this with my dad, and we had just stopped there because it had it was called Conky Joe's, and people from Key West are called conks, and we were like, oh, haha, like Key West. And we'd always driven past it, and we stopped, and we needed to eat lunch, so we stopped finally, and we were like, well, let's finally see what this place is like. And we went in, and we sat down, and it was decorated like this, where there were like buoys and nets and stuff like that on the walls, but there are also like photographs of like old sailboats and stuff like that. And my dad and I sat down across from each other at this table, and he was like facing the wall and these big windows so you could see outside. But he wasn't looking outside, he was looking at this sliver of wood making up the pillar in between the two windows, and he was staring at it for most of the meal. And finally he got up, he went over, he stared at it. He looked at me and said, "Brendan, come here." I got up and I stared at it. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he went, "That's me, right?" And I looked at it, and it was my dad in the picture.
Why?
So here's what happened. My dad, an important element of this story that you need to know, was a sailor back before we settled down and had kids. And it turns out that one of his old captains retired in that area and donated a shit ton of stuff from his sailing days to this restaurant.
Oh my god!
And it turned out that in that collection was a photograph of my dad's old boat with him standing on the bridge.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Hell of a coincidence.
Isn't it?
I mean, I'm thinking it's not even just that you ended up at that restaurant with that stuff,
It's
but that
we
you sat in
there,
one place you
and
would have
he
seen
sat
it
at
from.
that part of the table. It's like, "Ooh, that's me."
20.
It was very silly.
Nice.
Anyway, you're at an establishment like this. You don't see your dad,
No.
but you are on the lookout, supposedly, for a group of hobgoblins that Holmes says is involved in this sort of trafficking incident. Give me a perception check.
Alright. That is... Now, do I want to stress that? I think I may want to stress even that, because that's a 2. And I don't like 2s.
2's not very good.
But it's the lowest number I can stress.
Sure. Yes, yes, you're absolutely
That
correct.
makes it better than a 1.
It's probably the most best use of stress when
Yeah.
doing that.
That you can possibly
So
have.
describe to me what it is about the situation where you like almost fail but then don't.
I think I maybe like...
I think so. Just to color it a little bit, I think this is sort of the mission type of like you're supposed to tail someone and stay within a certain distance, but not let them see you following them. So how does that play out?
So... Oh goodness, I feel like the only way to further advance our lore is to kick over like one of these like, you know, sailing fixtures and then slink into the shadows and of course make a Shiba Inu sound.
Oh. You hear that? Is it a dog? Yeah, they're all over the place down here. Come on.
Orc.
And you manage to dart between the shadows the rest of the way. And they disappear into a pretty solid-looking warehouse, but they lock it behind them. And Holmes sort of calls you back afterwards. He's like, we could stake it out for a bit longer, or go ahead and head to ground. What do you think? And basically, do you want to spend...
Yeah, I think I will spend a coin.
Sure.
Because this seems...
You spend a bit more time, I think, sort of examining the place as the sun goes down, and you get the sense that They themselves are there, but they may have maybe a couple of dozen folks inside, just based on the amount of activity moving back and forth. But it's pretty solidly shut down. You're not able to like see any very clear signs of egress that aren't just like kick in the door. Ingress. Egress is the opposite of that.
Egret.
I have none of those. It's true.
Regret.
I don't have any of those.
No.
What else is going on?
I'd like to roll insight on that.
You don't believe that I don't
So
have
I
any.
would-
do I get 3?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to stretch
Because
it.
I think that brings me up to the next level at 8 out of 12,
Beautiful.
which means I'll go pick
Lynn, are you headed for the bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
seats.
Gotta get my vice on.
I think you arrive just a bit past sundown. Audryn gives you sort of a kind of a world-weary nod as you come in. It's a busy night. And actually, you don't recognize a lot of the folks that are in here tonight. You know, you're not, as a rule,
Well, regular, but
as a rule, you're not a regular, and you're not like
well known.
well known in this particular spot. But you sort of know the flavor of the folks that come in, and the particulars of this crowd are kind of scuzzier than you usually see.
Uh
Yeah.
oh. Uh
How
oh. I'm still gonna pick a fight.
Yeah. How's things go down?
She's gonna take somebody's drink.
Mhm.
Like she's gonna walk up to the bar, like she's ready to order, and then when the drink next to hers gets filled right before she orders, takes it, drinks it, slams it down, and says, "Oh, sorry, another." And then when he fills up to give it to that person, she takes it again, and then locks eyes with him after she takes the drink, offers a replacement, and then drinks that too. Oh god, that's gotta be enough.
Do you want to get dinner?
I don't know how to respond to this. God! There we go.
Pow!
That was entirely unexpected. Two.
2? Okay, so what happens, I think, is this guy throws a haymaker your way. And you stumble back and you're like, oh, I get it. He was setting me up. And then, like, you deliberately, like, stumble back in the way that you're expecting to in order to, like, get trashed.
Yeah.
But as you do, like, another figure, almost like a hobo or something like that, someone that is, like, smells terrible, has very clearly not cleaned themselves up in years, maybe?
Ix.
It's not Ix.
I found her!
Actually, like, steps between and, like, takes a hit that was very clearly intended for you. And is, like, they're, like, hit, but they're still, like, grappling with the arm of this, just absolute Hercules of an irritated individual who is now, like, basically just, like, swinging their arm around and trashing whatever they can find by hitting the hobo against chairs and tables and stuff like that. And at the same time just, like, grabs you and, like, drags your face across the bar. And at a certain point, like, realizes that he can just smash the two of you together and then throw you as a unit throughout the bar. And I think to outside observers, there's just a lot of crashes and smashing, and eventually both of you land in a unfortunate heap outside.
Did not go as planned. Are you okay? Was that a yes? Like,
I forgot my... And then there's a... as his flagon is thrown out and hits him in the head. There it is. Give me a perception check.
nat 20.
Natural 20?
Natural 20.
That's a very good number.
So that's a 28.
Okay.
Whoa.
There,
I see
Highest roll.
everything.
you do, you do. There is a look of just... There's a look of duty in this individual's eyes. And there's... Between the clear drinking problems and the bad self-care and the wretched circumstances and the determination to put himself through the grinder in order to try and make things right, you recognize the unfortunate form of Shitty Spencer.
Fuck.
Sorry to get in your way.
No, Spencer. Oh my God, Spencer. I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
Did you hit me?
No,
Well,
but here, come on. Let's get you cleaned up. And then she's gonna try and sort of like prop him up
and spray him with a hose?
Pressure washer.
she's gonna take him to.
Yeah, what are you going to do with this boy?
She's got a couple of like
Throw him
crash
away.
spots
Okay.
that are like just you can go there and you can crash essentially.
Here's a clip.
Oh, no,
That's how we
no.
do with traders and
She-
Sharn.
I take him to the engine.
She has ruined this poor boy's life.
Everything
Like
goes in the end.
she's.
I mean,
she's
you were
learned-
directly responsible.
Yes, she has ruined this poor boy's life, and then she didn't even get to beat up because he tried to protect her
Yeah.
from just having a good night. So she's gonna take him to one of those crash pads where there's water and buckets because it's not like there's a nice shower or anything there.
Sure.
But she's gonna try and get him sort of like cleaned up and see about, hey, let's see if we can sort of like take this course you're on, sort of like angle it this way instead. And she's gonna try and get him sobered up too. So she's just dragging a snoring,
Basically,
drunk,
yes.
stinking homeless person.
You do what you can
To her
for him,
nearest
but
crash pad.
he's pretty much done. Like, any degree of comfort whatsoever has basically just put him past the point of exhaustion.
Okay.
He's like Spencer of Katarina or something.
Oh.
He even sleeps.
Yeah, no. I learned the toast emote, and then
Yes. Yeah, if you have to interact with his sleeping form.
Yeah.
Sleeping mode.
Does anyone else have any downtime activities they'd like to indulge in?
I might go drinking.
I would like to confer with Ark, maybe, considering he was in the war, to try and find, if you know, some sort of like.
War's bad.
What does
All
so
right,
wait,
then.
what does Ark look like at this point?
I don't.
What's his feet
Do
look
you
like?
think there'd be enough time to have completed any of those?
Yeah, you said specifically you're working on your boots.
Okay,
What do
the
those
boots
look
are
like?
like heavily ruined. Like his feet are heavily ruined now. Or Ark's feet are heavily ruined.
They're ruined. They're just gone.
just
Like horse hooves.
Ankles, yes. Oh God, I just remembered baby horse hooves. Don't Google it.
Just saw
Don't Google it.
Just saw it right up. There's a bunch of runes all over Ark's feet now.
Like,
And maybe
You got
Ark's
some
like
sponsorships.
like light up.
Is it the shoes?
Ark's back might be like detached and he might like be reaching back and then like I like sit down the tools. What?
Your backs.
Yeah.
You okay? You need help or?
No, working on
Oh,
something.
all right.
Working on something.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm trying to.
Sigurd pokes his head in. Hey, have you seen the... What are those?
What? Which what's the feet?
Your feet!
Oh yeah, it's something new I've been working on. And these are actually done. Actually, they work right now. I'll show you if you really want to see.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Do you have the spanner?
Yeah. There you are. Just grab the span. It was what he just had on his back.
It's still like...
It's got like bits of stone.
What do the feet do?
Yeah. So I'll wait till later. Like the whole package. You guys will love it. Y'all love it.
Okay. All right. Anyways,
Kids love it.
you were in the war, right?
Yes.
I'm looking in to see if maybe you know someone that you fought alongside or helped alongside, some sort of battle mage or...
Well, I served in the 33rd Battalion.
But I'm not sure that you can teach me.
Cool.
Cool story, bro.
If that's battle mages, bat medallion, that's cool. But
That sounds pretty batty.
yes. Were there any particular people that you know of that are still around that might have some war casting skills?
That's a good question, GM.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there were plenty of Warforged wizards in your battalion.
Alright. I don't know how many Arc would still have contact with. But maybe
Or
Arc
know of?
I don't think you have any that are like in your address book, but
Right.
you could go searching to see
Or
if you
name
can
drop.
get put in touch with any of them.
Yeah, I know a few fellows who are good at battle casting and being on the front lines and
I would like to get in touch with them if you could help me with that.
I don't know what the whereabouts of them are now, but I do know a few names. Maybe we could look them up, maybe see if we can find them. But
Absolutely.
Alright.
That would be great.
Yeah. Alright. Goodbye.
I want to see your Nikes. Activate. Use. Is it the,
And then they're just shoots to the roof. Yeah, so
Okay.
I guess that'll be something Mark could look into, maybe.
Yeah, we'll deal with that offline.
Maybe the message board or something.
Cool.
Right. Alright.
Herbie, you're looking at me
Yes.
expectantly.
Yes, Maddie did want to check in with Ma'am and see if she'd heard anything about Zeke.
Ma'am has not heard anything about Zeke in particular, but the soup kitchen does seem to have lots and lots of kids that seem to be like more corralled by Ma'am at this point. She is taking steps to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
That's not a bad idea, but actually I got a question here. Who were his friends down here? It's hard to imagine he just walked away from them and doesn't talk to them at all anymore. I'm thinking he maybe might still be talking to them. It's worth a shot, right?
I mean, it's possible, but they've all been here, and I mean, you'd think that they'd just drop accidentally that if they'd been hanging out with them. I mean, you're welcome to try.
Well, maybe even if he ain't hanging out with them anymore, maybe he at least told them something about, I don't know, something. It's worth a shot. I mean, I'll give it a shot. Thank you.
Sure. And she's like, whoosh, and then a few of these rapscallions run over. Yeah. Huh?
Hey, you used to hang out with Zeke, right? Yeah, you ain't seen him, have you? No, I'm worried he got mixed up in something he shouldn't have. You know something? Come on, this is important to Ma'am. She takes good care of y'all. Look, it's important. She's gonna try a persuasion check.
Okay.
To see if one of these three will be impressed by this. And she kind of mumbles a little to herself again, trying to focus herself in the way that she seems to think helps.
Show them the unicorn.
Natural 20 backed up by a +2. She's almost divinely persuasive, you might say.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What time of day do you think this is happening?
This is probably, let's see, based on everything that's happened, she would have gone to Red first, finished up there, probably mid-late afternoon.
Okay. The kids sort of look at each other. And they all three tromp off. And Ma'am is like, whoa, 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 whoa.
And he holds up a hand and follows them.
You bring all three of them back, you hear?
If they don't come back, I ain't coming back.
That's not what I want. That's the opposite of what I want to happen.
I meant because it meant it'd be over my dead body, something happened to them. I gotta go.
She tweaks your ear on the way out.
God, damn it. You ain't done that in months.
Damn it.
Please
Pick the
don't
wrong,
die.
Oh,
pick
my
the wrong
God.
week to quit.
I don't,
Okay.
I don't want to deal with that.
They like you are learned in the back alleys, the shortcuts of Sharn, and so you slip over rooftops and through alleyways and down paths that a lot of people aren't supposed to be taking. And a couple of spots are pretty tough for you. You know, these kids are a third your size. It's a tight squeeze, but you managed to make it through. And it's good and past sundown before you realize that you've reached your destination down here at Cliffside. At the docks, where you find yourself looking at a very secure looking warehouse. Give me a perception check. Likewise, Maddie.
Perception or stealth? I guess perception.
I guess both of you give me perception.
All right. Maddie's perception is 14.
What did you get? Okay, and now both of you give me stealth.
Okay, I think you found it.
Okay,
I'm
stealth.
not gonna stress that too.
Yeah, that's
So I'm saying she can't. I would say she can't guidance or perception check because you don't know those are happening
yes,
in advance.
this is really a passive perception check.
But stealth, I think she normally would, just because.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's almost built in.
Yeah.
That is a 19 plus 5, 24.
Okay. You spot a familiar looking ninja that seems to be staking out the same location. And so do the kids, it look like. They are like kind of like unnerved by the fact that there's like, oh, ninja. 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 Shh. Is this the place or not? Shinobi. Ninja.
Is this the place or not?
Oh.
And he's in there right now.
Oh.
I guess that's fair. There's no way to know that.
Mm.
But are you saying he was here once or he's here sometimes? What's the story? This is all you know, that something about this place.
Oh.
Alright. She stares long and hard at Farron.
Farron knows Maddie's there.
Let's go back. I gotta get you kids back or man will have my hide.
Oh.
She guides them back.
One of them trips over a garbage can. Farron, you hear this disturbance.
Attack!
Like where is, like, I guess where would that
So
be?
I think you're here, the warehouse is off that way, and the docks and more of the bars and such are off that way, and you hear it off to that direction.
So, I think what I would actually do is,
Bork.
first I want to look over to make sure that no one's coming from the warehouse.
Yes.
Is anyone like around the warehouse?
Nope, no one there seems to have taken any notice.
Alright. In that case, I'd probably try and like, get up to the rooftops to go over and see if I can spot what had made the sound.
Okay. Are you hiding where you're at or trying to get away?
Maddie's trying to focus on getting the kids away as quickly as possible to
Okay.
the city secrets.
Then you give me a stealth check and you give me a contested acrobatics check.
Flippity flip. Oh, that's better. That is 21. Oh no, they're gone.
21 plus 5, 26.
I think whoever it is manages to get away.
I'm looking around and like.
The last time Farron was in this neighborhood, he was spied on by ninjas.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of it. Is I'm looking, like maybe that's the problem. Is maybe I'm looking to the like up high.
Yeah.
And
Harg is here somewhere. And he's very big, but he's very sneaky.
Where's Harg?
Harg is under you.
You
No.
You managed to bug out back to Mams, who of course has stayed up to make sure that you do indeed walk in the door.
They're here and I'm here, like I promised. I got something. I don't know what it's worth yet, but I got something. They did know something.
I suppose that's better than not something.
It's better than a lot of things, but I gotta get back to it. I only came back to bring them back safe.
Fine.
And Maddie races back. out there.
Beautiful. Wait, back to the docks?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you have already retired, I think. So by the time you get back, you...
Oh yeah, I would have like probably started going back home quickly, but it's stealthily because I assume I'm being watched.
Yes,
by
that's
my
fair.
rifle.
That's fair. I think you make it back to the base without too much trouble. Ark and Ries are here, but Lynn and Ix are still out.
Right.
You arrive back at the warehouse.
And she's gonna stake it out herself and watch it for a while.
Okay. No one comes in or out. But you do note that someone appears to be intermittently making lantern signals of some kind that are being responded to by a ship out in the harbor.
Okay.
Now, nothing seems to come of this. There doesn't appear to be any, like, traffic back and forth between the two, but it definitely happens in sequence such that you're pretty sure that they're communicating.
Is it the same sequence multiple times?
It is, yes. It seems to happen maybe once every couple hours or so.
In that case, can Maddie make note of what that sequence is on both sides?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Just like a double flash from both. Just sort of like a...
EBERRON text messaging.
Bork.
All right. Well, after a number of hours, and she realizes she's not going to see anything else, probably she'll finally head back.
Okay.
Why is this person watching us? I don't know what happened to Ninja. I don't know. There's another person here now.
And we'll close there. Good game.
Thank you for adventure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us.
I can't believe Weepy Spencer returned. Like I really didn't think we were gonna see.
It would have been better
Spencer
for him
again.
if he hadn't.
Like, Lynn's next score she's going to pitch to the group is going to be to give him, she got the idea from Maddie, but she's not going to say it, to give him a faked religious experience so that he finds a new higher calling and does some good with his life and stops being drunk and broken.
Or goes
Like,
on a crusade.
God wants him to do good and
Why
help.
don't we just offer him a job at our coffee house?
Yeah.
I don't-
He could have a religious experience
Well, so the
about
thing is,
making coffee.
Crusade.
I don't know that a job offer knocks a person sober, but like a major life-changing vision would. I don't know. He's kind of a mess right now. And I don't
Hey,
know
if
what
you're
to do.
interested in messes, you should listen to the second episode of Serendipity City, where I'm a player.
What?
The episode is called Ferrets with Hooves. I don't remember why.
It is?
Yeah.
Really?
I think I was describing goats.
Ferrets with hooves.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah,
sounds about
that makes
right.
sense.
Yeah, it does. It's good. My character, who's a farmer, who's also a hunter because his family disappeared because of magic, goes to a newspaper, which is a tabloid, but there are people crying there too. And there's a barrel with fire inside of it and some wire traps. And we're searching for demons.
Makes sense.
It's a lot of fun.
It all fits.
You can check that out at serendipitypod.com or any other podcast sources that you might have. Sorry, I need to work on my spiel a little better there. But you can tune into more We Are Foxhound Adventures here next week on twitch.com.tv. Twitch.tv. It's .com. It's not .com.
Twitch/com.tv.
Twitch/com.
/com.
Yep, it's my favorite /com.
Dot.
Dot
Website.
wrong.
Dot website.
Dot wrong.
Dot romhack.
I thought you said Ramadan. What?
Remember to delete this stream within 24 hours after downloading it.
I was raised
Nowhere.
by a baby horse hoof.
Oh God!
Yeah,
If I-
save us!
If my presence on the internet
Did
to
he
tell you
look it up?
anything, is don't Google baby horse hooves.
What about baby goat hooves?
I doubt they're any
I don't know, but now I have to find out. But
No!
I'll find out. Don't you find out? Don't do it. Don't do it.
Bye, stream.
Why are you